Oh, happy Wednesday. We're at the halfway point. Hope everybody's having a great day. Heidi Glaus here with Bob Ramsey, Josh Gilbert, and we've got a lot to get to. First up, in about 20 minutes, we're going to talk to Dr. Ravi, Johar, Chief Medical Officer with United Healthcare. And there's a couple things we wanted to ask him about. Number one, this weekend, Saturday to be exact, is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. So why is it that we need to take our drugs back instead of just tossing them in the trash can? We will talk to Dr. Johar about that. And I think you can take other things than just your pills, like inhalers if you have them laying around, or maybe even, sometimes you have a prescription that's a cream or an ointment. So we'll ask all of those questions.
Disposal's important.
Yeah, it is.
Guys, I hate the word ointment.
What's wrong with it?
Ooh. Number one, it sounds like oink. It's got
Heidi, what do we do with this?
Where's our
every day my
linguist?
All right.
jaw drops.
The OIN.
So moist, ointment.
Ointment is bad because it sounds bad, but it also
See, I think it sounds soothing.
it
I might have
makes
a little
me,
ointment right now on a little
mark there.
mark
but
trying to
It
heal
makes
it.
me think of weird skin conditions.
Well, what about a balm?
A balm, see, that's soothing.
Really, a balm is soothing.
Balm rhymes with
You
calm.
even know what a
Okay.
balm is?
No.
What about a salve?
A
salve?
salve. I think that's a little odd.
Yeah.
No, I'm good with salve.
You're good with
Okay, it's
salve.
just ointment.
Yeah. OIN is a harsh oink,
Okay.
a harsh 3-letter.
Well, how insulted would the doc be if we said, Doc, the difference between ointment, balm, and salve? I want to know the difference.
Let's ask him.
Okay.
Is it about
Cream, yeah.
texture?
He'll take the phone and look at it.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
I might be done with these
Yeah,
fools.
that's right.
Anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about cord blood banks. I just read a story about a little girl who was cured from sickle cell disease due to a cord blood transplant.
Really?
So we'll talk a
amazing.
little bit about that and how popular it's become for parents to, save that cord blood from their healthy baby. So that's all coming up at 3:30. At about 3:50, we'll talk about health insurance cost and the worries that go with that with a reporter from ABC. In the 4 o'clock, Lauren is going to join us. And I know, Josh, you're always curious about investment properties, and you constantly say you wish you would have bought a 2-family flat instead of renting for so long. So we'll get some do's and don'ts of investment properties with Lauren at about 4:20. We'll also check in with KTR Sports Director Brendan Weezy. It looks like Albert Pujols will not be managing in L.A., but a couple of other options still out there. And then a local guy did just get a job managing in the big league. So we'll talk about that with Brendan. At 4:50, we'll talk to Don Mahalik and this suspicious deer stand at an airport that President Trump uses. And what are they learning about it? Was it just there and they're just now seeing it? Did somebody put it up? And it's one of those things that,
A little bizarre, isn't it?
yeah, raising eyebrows. So we'll get the latest on that. And then in the 5 o'clock, we'll bring in our good friend, St. Louis University law professor and our KTRS legal analyst, Mr. Greg Willard, to talk about President Trump wanting those legal fees reimbursed from the Department of Justice, his own Department of Justice. So is that kind of like paying himself? Has this ever been done before?
Yeah,
What does
what's
that
the
look
protocol?
like?
How does that work? I agree.
So we'll talk to him about that. We'll also get his take on whether or not the White House truly needed a ballroom. Because, of course, Greg Willard spent quite a bit of time there when he was with President Ford.
Gerald Ford. And my question is, how many events did they hold? I mean, they always have state dinners. They always have
But maybe they didn't hold many because they didn't have a ball.
galas. When they had state dinners, was it really tight? Not, if this thing gets built, which, they're going to have to do something. They just tore down half the side of a building. Is that where all the state dinners will go? Will more people get invited?
Or is it harder to host an event there?
Because of the security,
right,
the massive security.
Exactly. So anyway, we'll ask him some of those questions. I saw this and I thought, well, isn't this the truth? some things that were normal 30 years ago that now are more of a luxury. Like number one, and this one frustrates me like crazy, calling a company and actually talking to a person instead of a robot or someone that speaks your language and can actually get something done.
Or as I like to call it, the phone prompt hell.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And I always hate you call and they say, please listen carefully because we've changed our number system since the last time you called.
Everybody changed because they had that disclaimer
On every phone call.
Everyone.
You know, it's funny you bring this up. We always talk about things that used to seem like luxuries but are now commonplace. Like we always say every time you went into somebody's house and they had the that intercom system.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, you
That's
guys
cool.
I didn't realize you guys were rich. You know, now it's quaint, if not completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
But this is the opposite. This
It is the opposite.
things that were normal and now are a luxury.
Right. Here's another one. Single income families being able to buy a home. I mean, it's unless you are just, at the top of
An
your
executive at your
career,
company, yeah.
you're not doing it these days. I mean, it's just hard and everything's become so expensive. This one I haven't given much thought to, but makes sense. New furniture made out of actual wood.
Ugh.
Not particle board you really have to go back or you're going to spend a whole lot of money on it, which I thought was interesting. Concert tickets
Ugh.
seem to be more of a luxury because they're so expensive and harder to get to because even if you are, on the computer, as soon as they go on sale, chances are you're not getting the seats that you want.
Here's my grudge for the day, the axe grinding from Josh. Do we have it open for this?
We should make
we
one.
should.
Concert.
And is it just going to be one?
We'll start with one.
Okay.
Concert, theater, sporting event tickets for kids stuff. There's this guy named Danny Go who's huge on YouTube. All the kids watch this guy.
You're talking about like Finn's age?
Finn's age. He's coming to the factory and tickets are like $80 a piece. And it's like, well, I don't want to go. Do they have a parent's price? So it's like just taking your kid to go see something that they watch on YouTube, it's going to cost us $300.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
That's
Yeesh.
tough.
Yeah.
I get that. The other one, owning the software you purchase. For example, about 2 weeks ago, and don't roll your eyes at me, but I've only owned a computer for about 2 years. And about 2-3 weeks ago, all of a sudden it came up that I needed to buy Microsoft software again because I guess it came with a free trial that I did not realize. Well, it was almost as cheap to buy a new computer that had it for a year as it was buying the software. So like owning the software that you get and not having to resubscribe year after year or to add the updates that you need to run your phone.
I thought for sure, I heard a couple of years ago that Microsoft said you can no longer buy Microsoft Office. You can only rent it.
Yeah.
Or you have to do everybody wants you to do a subscription service, Bob, because you sign up, you pay every month, and then you forget about it.
You keep paying.
And before you know it, you're paying 3 years to a gym that you forgot you even belonged to.
I have at least 2 things that pop up on my checking account, and it says $25 from Amazon. I have no idea what it is, and I can't figure it out.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what am I paying for right now?
Oh, no.
So I need one of those services that will go through and
Yeah, mine's called Lucy, my daughter.
she can do it for. Can she do mine?
Yeah, we'll send her over.
Somebody else on this list pointed out legroom on an airplane and meals, where you used to at least
Both
get
are gone.
something. They're gone, or it's a luxury. You have to be sitting in first class to have either one of those.
I really hate pretzels. Like a soft pretzel, great. But like pretzels in a bag, the little...
Like little old gold, rolled
Rolled
gold.
gold,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hate
Hate 'em.
them? Oh, I love them.
Why?
'Cause they're so
How about
boring.
if I put them in some ice cream?
I like to dip them in a little
a little caramel?
mustard.
They make a Reese's cup, I think, with pretzels in it.
Yeah.
But by themselves, very boring. And, Bob, no pun intended, they make me very thirsty.
That's the intent.
Yes, it is. It's why you see them on bar stool or at bars
Yeah.
all the time or on those tall tables.
Love a good nut. Love a good beer nut.
Yeah.
Corn nuts are
beer.
Oh, I'd
great.
rather have a pretzel.
I would too.
The Gardetto's bag where they've got the ryes in there.
Oh, I
But-
just the pretzels.
When I'm on a plane and they hand out the snacks and it's just a bag of pretzels, I always get so disappointed.
What is the brand? They're hard pretzels, but they're a little bigger and thicker.
I know exactly
what's
what
the
you're.
Snyder's.
Thank you.
yeah.
Well done,
Yes.
sir.
Oh, a good honey mustard Snyder.
Now you're
You're
onto
gonna-
something.
You're going to break a tooth.
Oh, well, no question.
But yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. Somebody said, be honest. You got a 4-hour flight or less, and do you really want a meal brought to your seat and everyone's seat and all the hassle that goes with it? I might, yeah.
Well, I used to get meals on planes. Didn't bother me.
And then you don't have to worry about it when you land. You're not hungry and grouchy. You've got one thing taken care
I
of.
was on a long distance flight and they fed us French toast.
Mm.
So good.
Really?
It was so good.
Wow.
Was
That's,
it good just because you haven't had French toast in a long time, or it was just that good?
Maybe, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And then I got syrup on my pillow, my airplane
That
pillow.
happens.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
That
no.
will happen.
That's a problem.
It can be a messy meal. That's
Yeah.
right.
Somebody said on the opposite side of things, long distance calls were so pricey back in the day, and now there's no such thing as a long distance charge.
And it's always been a scam.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a person plug. In the old days, they'd plug in a thing. Why do you have to pay extra for that?
Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting?
Hello, Sarah. Get me New York.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Get you New York right away, sir.
She plugged something in.
Yeah.
If you have a landline, if you still have a landline, which I mentioned last week is becoming more popular with parents with little kids.
Yeah.
I saw a story, I think it was in People magazine, where a woman in her late 20s, early 30s put a landline back in so only her favorite people
Knew the
knew her number.
Oh,
And so she
okay.
knew who was calling and people that she wanted to talk to.
She's very popular.
Uh-huh.
apparently.
On our cell phones, it's free long distance, right? On a landline, is it free long distance? I need somebody who has a landline that makes long distance calls
Because on
to
your
answer that
phone,
question.
you don't have to punch one.
You don't even think about it.
No.
Yeah.
But on the landline, maybe it's been a while. Now we had a landline, and then we switched it to like digital, but it was still on the
Yeah.
handset on the counter. And then we finally said, "What are we doing? Let's just get."
Mm-hmm.
You're
We
right.
got rid of it. What?
What are you doing?
He's working the phones.
Uh-huh. You're going to see if you...
I'm going to call Tokyo.
Okay. Tokyo. Do you have somebody's number? How many numbers are you hitting?
This is radio.
I feel like Finn just took over, and he's playing one of those.
You've never called overseas?
Mm,
There's a
No,
lot of numbers.
there are a
involved.
lot of numbers.
all right. So interesting. You know, I didn't have to call long distance when I was in college because it was right when cell phones, but they were really the big bag phones had
yeah.
come out. And so that's the reason I got one. And I had a little kind of thing you would plug in, like an adapter, in my college dorm room. I had a little place that it was sitting on a little stool, and I would plug it into this adapter, and that's where I would call my mom and dad every night instead of having to go and make a long distance call. So-
You had the bag phone.
We had the bag phone, which
That's
was
wild.
pretty cool.
We had calling cards.
Yep.
Mm.
I do
where
remember calling
know,
cards.
This one has 20 minutes. Oh, this one only has 4 minutes on it. Hang on, I got to punch in another,
Yeah. I do remember going to like basketball camp though at SEMO and coming down and using the payphones and calling collect
Oh, my
to-
goodness.
Done that.
mom and dad to.
How much did that cost?
You know, I don't
It
remember.
was kind of pricey, but I don't remember specifically.
You know, somebody said my landline through AT&T Uverse free long distance.
All right.
So You've got that.
We've got an answer. The text line is always good for
They
an
are
answer.
fantastic.
And did you see this one earlier? They want to ask Dr. Johar, what's the difference between the bird flu and the swine flu?
Oh, I saw the
One has
joke.
feathers.
They say the bird flu gets tweetments and the swine flu gets ointment. That's pretty good. Somebody tell Rose that joke.
Yeah, it is pretty good. You might hear that one next Friday when kids are
yeah.
telling jokes for Halloween.
That'd be a good one for
Yeah.
kids.
That is a good
It's
one.
a solid bird flu joke.
Yes, it is. You don't have a whole lot of those.
No, you don't.
So, as we just said, we love our listeners. You guys are what makes the show. So, you know what is coming up, and hopefully you'll hang out with us here and be a part of the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey, Josh Gilbert on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Underway at Appliance Discounters. Take an additional 5% off any sale price. Speed Queen, GE Profile, Cafe, Bosch, LG, Frigidaire. It applies to all the brands. Next day delivery and installation, interest-free financing, locally owned, and the largest appliance retailer in St. Louis. 5% off any sale price, 6 locations, Afton, St. Charles, Baldwin, South County, and Maplewood, or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Understanding where life insurance may fit in a comprehensive financial plan. Life insurance may be more than a safety net. It could also be a powerful tool for building wealth, protecting loved ones, and even saving on taxes. Whether it's term or permanent life insurance, choosing the right policy is an important part of your financial journey. At Pioneer Wealth Management, we're here to help you make these smart decisions for today and tomorrow. Call us now at 314-619-1283 or visit us on the web at pioneerwealthmanagement.com.
How's your deck holding up? Time for a new one? Time to redo the one you're sitting on? It's time to call Outdoor Living. Outdoor Living last summer helped me with my deck, and I cannot tell you how thrilled I am. Outdoor Living Inc. not only showed me all the different options, whether it's PVC, composite, vinyl wrapped, wood, but Outdoor Living has the largest showroom in St. Louis, 2,000 square feet of decking, so I figured out exactly what I wanted from the largest showroom in town. 314-966-DECK or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
So you call your virtual insurance company to ask a simple question about your policy, but now you're on hold listening to this music while you wait and wait. Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and pick up the phone when you call, because you shouldn't be on hold so long that you memorize the music. That's simple human sense.
Ask First Mid Insurance in St. Peters if Auto Owners make sense for you.
When you send a text to the Big 550, do you wonder if we see all of them?
Of course we do.
We do pay attention and love your interaction on the Big 550 text line at 84126.
Don't like something? Love something? Just let us know.
Thanks for being a part of the KTRS family. And keep the texts coming. We are the Big 550, the talk and text of St. Louis. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey
on the Big 550 KTRS.
3:30 on this Wednesday afternoon. Time to get a check of traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
Heidi, there's an accident on westbound 44 before Clayton Skinker with a tow truck and a MoDOT vehicle blocking the two right lanes, and traffic is jammed back to Kings Highway. An accident on westbound 44 at Elm is causing a stop and go back up to Laclede Station. We have road work on eastbound 64 at Clarkson with the right lane closed until 4 o'clock, and road work on westbound 270 between the 5570 merge and Illinois 159 is just wrapping up for the day. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather.
Sunny skies, breezy and mild again today with highs in the mid-60s. A beautiful blue sky overhead. Clear with lighter winds overnight tonight, so we'll see some patchy frost around the area tomorrow with lows in the 30s and low 40s. And then Friday looks fairly dry until late in the day, and some rain chances move in late Friday into the weekend. In the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Kent Earhart for the Big 550 KTRS.
I got to tell you, this weather is what you call RV weather. It is fantastic because you can light that campfire and you can sit outside in nature. It is the time to get out in the RV. We're actually just going to go to a friend's house this weekend in the RV just to get out in it. And Byerly RV has some fantastic deals right now. Some closeout savings on motorhomes where you can save up to 48% off, which is a huge deal. We're talking about Class A, B, and C models. They really are fantastic. And, I mean, you just cruise. And part of the fun, at least for us in the motorhome, is the traveling part of it, because you get to see everything a little more clearly with that big windshield. Now, maybe you want something a little smaller, you want to tow something, and Byerly RV has you covered there too. They have more than 30 brands of new RVs in stock. We're talking small travel trailers, we're talking big fifth wheels, we're talking camper vans, and then again, those gas and diesel motorhomes. So check out ByerlyRV.com for all of the great deals. You can also swing by the dealership there in Eureka. They're at 109 and 44. You cannot miss the acres and acres of motorhomes and campers. National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day is this Saturday. Our favorite doctor, Dr. Ravi Johar, Chief Medical Officer with United Healthcare, joins us with some things to know. Welcome back and congratulations, because you now have a new addition to the family.
Yes, we do. We have a new son-in-law. We had Julian join our family.
Wow.
Awesome.
Now,
amazing.
How many tears were shed?
They actually had proposition bets at their at the wedding, where you could. They had an app, and people could vote on all kinds of things. And the one on "Will Dad Cry" was not an option; it was "When will Dad cry?"
I love that. Well, what a fantastic moment, and the pictures are just absolutely stunning. So, congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah, we're very, very proud of her and thrilled to have Julian as part of the family now.
Oh, that's exciting. So let's talk about National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Why is it important to drop our drugs off somewhere instead of just tossing them in the can?
Well, there's a couple reasons that it's really, really important. One, just for the environment. One of the things is a lot of people like to flush their pills down the toilet. That gets into our water systems, even in the waste systems. And no one wants that. It can harm wildlife, definitely fish, animals, even plant life. Those medications are very potent drugs. Even if they're expired or old, they still have a lot of potency left in them. So disposing of them safely is really important for our environment.
And I know a lot of these places, it's not just pills. They take ointments, inhalers. I mean, all of that needs to go back to a proper place.
Absolutely. Now, on drug back day, they won't take back things like the thermometers won't take back.
Okay.
They can turn mercury. They won't take syringes back, needles, things of that sort. Inhalers are depending on the site that you go to. But yeah, almost any medication, certainly all pills, liquids, they would like the liquids to be in the original containers so they know what they're getting, things of that sort. And then they will dispose of them safely and environmentally friendly. But an even bigger reason, we know that many people that become addicted to drugs or have problems with prescription medications get them from old drugs that have been sitting around the house.
Oh.
So it's really important to get rid of those when you're done with them. People always think about narcotics as being, the opioids and things of that sort as being ones you really want to be careful about. But this can happen with any kind of medication. And it's really important to prevent accidental or deliberate overdoses and addictions. So getting them out of the house when you're done with them is a very, very good idea.
Is there an easy website where we can find places where we can take our prescription drugs back?
Absolutely. There's a number of places you go, but the best one would be DEAtakeback.org.
Okay, easy enough. Now, another story, Dr. Johar, we've been wondering about, cord blood banking. Can you give us the basics?
Sure. Well, let's start with what's a stem cells are the blood cells that basically start off and then separate out and form the basis for all our blood cells. The red blood cells, the white blood cells, the ones that fight immune disease, all the things that go into your blood start as stem cells. Now, stem cells are made in the bone marrow. So that's why you hear about people getting bone marrow transplants, because what they're doing is they're killing off all their blood cells and then replacing it with fresh blood cells from bone marrow. Those are called stem cells. But you can also get stem cells from umbilical cord blood. So this is the blood that goes between the placenta and the baby. After the baby's born, the body sheds the placenta and gets rid of it. But there's still a lot of blood in that placenta and in the umbilical cord that's just disposed of. You can actually collect that blood now and harvest the stem cells from that and use that instead of bone marrow transplants.
Not to get too deep into the weeds on it. So, for instance, on our 3 children, my wife donated that blood. So you take that, you're at the hospital, you're in the delivery room. Then what happens?
Okay, there's a couple different types of blood banks that can store it. Just like everybody hears about the Red Cross blood banks, the transfusions, same exact concept. It's actually the same bags that they use to collect it. But those are frozen and preserved in a cord blood bank. There's a small amount that can be taken off for testing, so you know exactly what blood that can be used for and who it's compatible with. And so you've got all that information. And when someone needs that type of blood for a bone marrow transplant or to help treat other diseases, it's available for them.
Gotcha.
Dr. Johar, what are stem cells? I feel like we heard a lot about these, 10, 15, 20 years ago. South Park had an episode where Cartman used stem cells to make his own Shakey's Pizza. It was a very funny episode. But what are they? What are they actually used for, medically speaking? How can they help us?
Well, stem cells are the basis for all the blood cells in our body. For the red blood cells, the white blood cells, they all start off as stem cells, and then they proliferate or grow and then differentiate into the different types of blood cells the body needs. So basically, everything is going to start from the stem cell, and so that's why it's the stem, and then it grows up just like a plant. You have the stem, and it grows up and flowers out into different things that you need, and that's basically what a stem cell is. So it usually has been, we've always had them in the bone marrow, and that's why people, when they get leukemias or different kinds of cancers and they need a stem cell transplant, that's what they're getting. But here you can do it without having to go through and to drill into somebody's bone and to actually take that bone marrow out. You can replace the same kind of stem cells without any of that going on. The Catholic Church has looked into it and is totally comfortable. They say it's a great thing to have. There have been over 45,000 transplants that have been done with cord blood stem cells now, and they are used for any kind of the blood cancers and immune system diseases. That's where they really come in. There's trials now to see if you can use those same blood cells for Parkinson's, heart disease, Alzheimer's, There's 200 clinical trials going on right now to see what kind of things we can treat with cord tissue and cord stem cells. I always used to talk to my patients about donating that because it's something that if you don't donate, it's going to be discarded anyway. There's really no
reason not to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not painful. I mean, at that point, there's nothing. The baby's out and you're holding the baby, and the doctor is just collecting the blood from the umbilical cord before it separates.
Wow. I read one story about a cord blood transplant curing sickle cell disease of a little girl.
Yes, that is one of the big things it's being used for is now sickle cell. Because with that, what you're doing is you're destroying the body's own bone marrow and its own ability to make stem cells and replacing it with new stem cells. And since that's what was making the sickle disease, when you have new stem cells that don't have sickle, you're no longer making sickle cells.
Got it. Do most people donate the cord blood, or do they hold on to it for maybe a use for their own child later on?
There are two options for it. There is the cord blood banks, which are free of charge, doesn't cost you anything. They're maintained, and then they're available for anybody to use. But there's a couple large companies that are doing private blood banking. Then that those blood cells are saved for you to decide who you want to give it to. If you've got a strong family history or things of that sort, you may want to have that for people that you know, family members that may need that. And you can do that. But that one costs you a charge, it's a collection fee, and then there's a annual fee to maintain those cells.
Got it.
The hope is if you get so many that are donated to the public blood banks that everyone will be able to find a match and not have to worry about that at all.
Can stem cells be used for paralysis and to maybe reconnect nerve endings, or is that not one of their things?
There are studies that are going on to check that. Right now, the sky's the limit on what is being tested to see what they can do. We've had stem cells have been around ever since man's been around, but we started doing research onto what other things they may be able to do, and I think the possibilities are endless. Nerves tend to be a different organ system. The blood and the nervous tissue are totally different systems, so we don't think there's a direct match for that, but we don't know how much potential those stem cells have. They could certainly make a play in there somewhere.
That's exciting.
And Halloween is here, and the classic story of Frankenstein reanimating dead tissue. Is that something that is medically possible, or when something has died on our body or a connection has been broken, is that the end of it?
I think, unfortunately, at that point, that is. The body needs all kinds of things to keep going, and there's nothing that we know of that can regenerate that
yet.
Yeah, that's a very good point to bring.
Yeah, give me 10 cc's of lightning, Bob.
Right.
What about plasma? Where does plasma fit in all of this?
Plasma is another part of the blood. That's everything in the blood that is not red cells or white cells is plasma. That's think of that as the stream that all the cells are floating in, is the plasma. And it contains a lot of immunologic factors, a lot of other things that the body definitely has to have. The plasma contains everything that you use for blood clotting, for other treatments. So plasma is critically important. That's when you go and you donate blood. They take the blood that's donated and separate it into red blood cells and into plasma cells. So you can give whatever you need, and then you can break the plasma down into other things. So fresh frozen plasma, you hear it on every doctor show on TV. When someone's coming in bleeding, they start giving them that because that helps stop the bleeding. And then you replace them with the red blood cells to get them the blood that they need.
So if we go and donate blood, are we also donating plasma, or we have to go to a separate place to donate plasma?
The Heart Association can separate those out. The folks that you donate to the Red Cross can separate that out easily.
Wow.
So yes, you can donate both.
All right. And how important is it for us to be donating blood? I really need to get into more of a routine.
I think it's one of the best things you can do. It's truly life-saving for others. I mean, when you need the blood, you need blood. That's the only thing that can save you in many cases. So having that available is something that is critically important. Doctors have gotten much, much better. I remember even when I started training, the routine was to give, a couple units.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know that we don't need to give that much. We need to just give enough for the body to make sure that it's okay, and then the body will regenerate what it needs over time. So the hospital, the physicians are doing a much better job of controlling the amount of blood that is given, but there is always a chronic need for it. I mean, accidents happen, natural disasters. We've experienced a few of those in St. Louis ourselves recently. That you need to have those available, and at that time when you need it now. It's not something that we can put together a drive and we'll get you some blood within a few days.
Yeah, it's
you
immediate.
need it within a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's very interesting and all great tips, Dr. Ravi Johar, Chief Medical Officer with United Healthcare. We do have one question for you. Somebody's wondering if pharmacies recycle old empty pill bottles.
Yes, a lot of pharmacies will do that, and some pharmacies will actually do some of the taking back of old medications also on other days other than the National Drug Take Back Day.
All right, good to know. Dr. Johar, thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure being with you guys.
If you need a credit score of 750, you need Analytico750.com. Analytico750.com is the credit health partner that works for you. With Analytico750.com, you get smarter, faster credit updates. Forget waiting 45 days. At Analytico750, we provide fresh updates every 30 days. Plus, you get access to all 3 credit bureaus and unlimited reports for just $25 a month. But there's more. We also provide business credit reports, personal credit analyzation, and credit monitoring to keep tabs on your score 24/7. We even offer rapid rescore to accelerate score changes and a security freeze to lock down your credit from identity thieves. After you sign up, one of our credit experts will help you aim for a 750 credit score. Build your credit score to 750 with Analytico750.com. Call 800-850-0750. 800-850-0750. That's 800-850-0750.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle, custom homes and condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Sunset Hills Subaru is a proud local business that has served the St. Louis metro area since 1963. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, their friendly, knowledgeable, and experienced team will get you into the Subaru that was built for you. And when you visit their massive showroom, you can expect the superior customer service that you deserve that's become synonymous with Sunset Hills Subaru. Located on Watson Road in Sunset Hills, they're only a stone's throw from St. Louis, Kirkwood, Arnold, and the Metro East. Browse or shop online at sunsethillsubaru.com.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Getting your weekday started the St. Louis way. It's the McGraw Show.
Coming up on Thursday's show, Antonio French joins us to talk all things local. Frank Cusimano stops by to talk sports, and it's Carl the intern's birthday tomorrow, so feel free to flood the text line with messages of love and joy, humor, birthday wishes, maybe some ribbing, some insults. We're here for it all. All on the McGraw Show.
McGraw, Millhaven, Rose Dalton, and Carl the intern. Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Right here on your hometown station, the Big 550, KTRS. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey.
on the Big 550, KTRS.
10 minutes before 4 o'clock. Captain Paul, how's traffic moving along?
Not too bad, Heidi. No accidents, just a little slow traffic. Westbound 64 is crowded from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker. Southbound 55 is stop and go at 4500 South Broadway. Eastbound 64 bogs down at 170. And there's road work on eastbound 64 at Clarkson with the right lane closed until 4 o'clock. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
The federal government shutdown is well into its third week, and some Americans are worried about the future of the Affordable Care Act. Mary Kakatos, health and science reporter with ABC News Digital in New York, joins us with the latest on that. I mean, what are we looking at? Could the cost rise? How much?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there was a recent independent analysis from KFF, which looks at a lot of different health policies. They found that premium payments could more than double in 2026 if the enhanced premium tax credits expire. So it is a big concern for many, many Americans if a deal isn't made soon.
And so they're set to expire when?
They're set to expire at the end of the year. These subsidies or enhanced premium tax credits, they were originally part of the Affordable Care Act that was passed during the Obama administration. They were enhanced during the COVID-19 pandemic, and right now are set to expire on December 31st, 2025.
And this is kind of the Democrats' holdout as far as not getting the government back open, correct?
That's right. It really is a sticking point. Democrats have been demanding that Republicans pass extensions of the subsidies before the government is reopened. But the GOP is saying it doesn't want to negotiate until a clean funding bill is passed and the government reopens, saying that Congress has until the end of the year to come to a negotiation. But right now we're at a standstill.
Mary, it seems like both sides are playing a little bit of a dangerous game with the public. And do you think, while the Republicans obviously want to get the bill, and then they say they'll negotiate. And if it stretches toward the end of the year, that's going to be a problem for folks. But do the Democrats, by attaching other things that they want in their aid, some other aid things, are they loading that down and getting away from their core issue?
It's a good question. We're not sure. Obviously, there are Democrats and Republicans on both sides who are saying that both sides are really, playing some games with American health care. And there are saying that we are willing to negotiate. We just need to get to the table and do so. But whether that is done within a short time, especially before the November 1st open enrollment begins, really anyone's guess.
Yep.
Hey, Mary, take the immigrants out of it. The GOP says that Democrats want to include illegal immigrants in this. It's all kind of messy. Take it out of there. Are there GOP members, Republican members in the House and the Senate that want regular Americans to keep these subsidies?
Yes, there are Republicans that are willing to negotiate and have these expire, and that's because many of their constituents really benefit from these enhanced premium tax credits. Polls show that a majority of Americans support them. So they do want their constituents, the people that they represent in Congress, to be able to afford their monthly premiums. So there are members of Congress out there who are willing to negotiate on these. We're just waiting to see when and if they come to the table.
Yeah. How many Americans rely on the Affordable Care Act?
There are really varying estimates on how many Americans rely on them because there were some who didn't need them until they were enhanced. So, it could be anywhere from a third to, 40% of Americans. But there are millions and millions out there who relied. And we've spoken to many of these people, and they say that they're worried that if the enhanced premium tax credits expire, they may be forced to go to a lesser tier insurance, really struggle to pay their premiums, or they may have to forego insurance altogether.
And is this subsidies for everyone that's on ACA Obamacare, or is this just a certain subset of people that are on it?
It's a subset of people. It's people who meet the income threshold for requiring these enhanced premium tax credits. So people who either are retired and they're on a fixed income, people who have disabilities, or they have underlying health conditions. So it is a subset of people, but it is generally for the most vulnerable Americans out there who would really struggle unless they had these tax credits.
Yeah. Mary Kakatos, health and science reporter with ABC News Digital. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
With over 30 years of experience in top-quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high-quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
You are a successful electrical contractor, but you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one? That's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done, but you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have 2 locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. As you know, we sell a lot of classic, luxury, and performance vehicles. Unfortunately, there's no factory for pre-owned ones. These are hard to source, so I'm always on the hunt. You have a pristine classic, collectible, or even interesting modern vehicle? If it has low miles and in perfect shape, I want to buy it. I love Corvettes, Porsches, Vipers, V-Series Cadillacs, and anything unique as long as it's in excellent condition. I'll do some great trading too if you're done with your current vehicle and ready for something new and exciting. We have very attractive financing options for just about any situation too. Buying, selling, trading, just hop on our site, pick out your dream car, or submit your current dream car for us to buy.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
It's Sarah Haynes from The View. Today, stronger immunity and better nutrition are more important than ever. That's why Eggland's Best gives you and your family more. Compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best provides 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, all helping you to maintain a strong immune system and better overall health. Plus, you get all that farm-fresh, delicious taste. These are no ordinary times, so why choose an ordinary egg? Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. The government shutdown is grinding into a 4th week and starting to impact American households. Furloughed workers are missing paychecks, and funding is set to run out for critical food programs. ABC's Selena Wang says lawmakers remain divided on a fix.
The Democrats, they are calling on President Trump to come to the table, but he's not willing to do so until Democrats vote to reopen the government. Well, Democrats, they are demanding an extension of those expiring Obamacare subsidies so that healthcare premiums don't skyrocket for millions of Americans. Now, it's not just a concern from Democrats. In fact, a group of Republicans wrote a letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson demanding that he immediately address this issue because, of course, those healthcare premiums impact their constituents as well. And open enrollment starts on November 1st.
Demolition of the East Wing of the White House began this week to make way for President Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom. A White House official now says the entirety of the East Wing will be renovated. A preservationist group is hoping to press pause due to the size of the project. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
Now, Trump had said that the East Wing is being, quote, fully modernized as part of the process to build his massive $250 million ballroom, which he insists is privately funded. But the National Trust for Historic Preservation is urging the administration to pause demolition until the construction plans can go through the legally required public review process.
The U.S. military carried out another deadly airstrike, according to 2 U.S. officials, on an alleged drug cartel boat last night, this one in the Pacific near Central America. It marks the 8th strike carried out by U.S. military on vessels, killing an estimated 34 people. Online dating just got a bit harder. Dating app Tinder announced that it will now require users to upload a video scan of their faces in order to sign up and search for the potential perfect match. You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. Police say they are following several active leads to find a Lincoln County boy who is the subject of an endangered person advisory. Police say 6-year-old Josiah Ulitson of Ellsbury was taken yesterday by his non-custodial mother 44-year-old Sarah Goodman. They were last seen in a white 2017 Ford Edge with Missouri license plates. Anyone with information on their whereabouts is urged to call 911. A student is accused of bringing a gun to Fort Zumwalt East High School. School officials say a post on social media led to the discovery of the student with a gun on campus yesterday. The law license of former St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner is once again in jeopardy. This time, it's over her office's use of public money to save her personal law license. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports that state disciplinary lawyers are accusing Gardner of violating 4 professional conduct rules when she directed her employees to issue over $5,000 in checks to reimburse herself for a 2022 Supreme Court reprimand. Efforts are being made to get St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery released from jail. Yesterday, Montgomery's criminal lawyers filed an appeal of his incarceration. Montgomery's bond was revoked by a federal judge last week after additional criminal charges of witness tampering and retaliation. Montgomery's lawyers contend there was no tampering because employment decisions were made by an independent personnel panel. They also claim there is no real evidence of a burner phone that the sheriff was accused of using. An appeals court will now decide whether the sheriff can be released as he awaits trial. Meanwhile, city officials say the St. Louis Sheriff's Office was almost $1 million over budget in the 2025 fiscal year. According to an audit released by the city comptroller yesterday, the sheriff's office exceeded its $14 million budget by more than $800,000. The report comes after the Board of Aldermen passed a resolution limiting Sheriff Alfred Montgomery's spending powers. Madison County's Prescription Drug Take-Back Day is this weekend. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
This effort is aimed at preventing drug misuse and to reduce the potential of accidental poisonings and overdoses. Items that will be accepted include controlled substances, over-the-counter medications, and vitamins. The site will be in the Madison County Administration Building's back parking lot on 2nd Street in Edwardsville on Saturday from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minutes is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A portion of St. Louis County's RAM settlement money will go towards repaving roads in dozens of subdivisions. Last night, the County Council approved a nearly $6.2 million contract for repaving and road infrastructure improvements in 16 subdivisions throughout St. Louis County. The work represents the second phase of a $40 million allocation approved in April 2024 for subdivision street repaving and other infrastructure improvements. And this look at the markets is brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. Big drop on Wall Street today. At the close, Dow Jones finished down 334 points to close at 46,590. S&P 500 was down 36 points to 6,699. The NASDAQ down 213 points to 22,740. Now let's get a check of sports and traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
Sobe number 15, Mizzou, is currently a 2.5-point underdog at Vanderbilt for their big SEC matchup. Special extended pregame coverage on Saturday gets started at 12 noon with kickoff set for 2:30 here on the Big 550. And St. Louis City SC made multiple roster moves yesterday, including picking up the options on Glaus and Chris Durkin. Options were declined on defenders Henry Kessler and Josh Yarrow, but the club says discussions are ongoing to still bring them back. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. There's an accident on eastbound 44 at Allenton Six Flags Road. Westbound 64 is crowded from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the 6470 interchange. Southbound 55 is running slow from Gasconade to 4500 South Broadway, and eastbound 64 bogs down at McKnight but opens up at Big Bend. This traffic report is brought to you by Lion's Choice, a local favorite since 1967. Lion's Choice continues to serve high-quality roast beef to family and friends across Missouri and Illinois. Everyone's got their favorite order. What's yours? Stop by or order online. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. KTRS weather today, sunny, windy, high of 65. Tonight, clear with an overnight low of 39. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 61. Right now, clear skies. It is 65 degrees. The time is 4:08. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
1 in 8 women will face breast cancer. But the Breast Cancer Research Foundation is changing that. With breakthroughs in prevention and treatment, we're not just saving lives, we're rewriting the future, giving those diagnosed more time to not just survive, but thrive. This is the moment. This is the mission. Support breast cancer research. Until 1 in 8 is none in 8.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey
on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Wednesday afternoon, October 22nd. Local judge warns of jury duty scam. Apparently, the voicemail message begins fairly harmless and sounds legitimate, saying, "Good morning, this is Deputy Brian Turner calling from the Madison County Sheriff's Civil Service Division." But Chief Judge Christopher Thurkeld of Illinois' 3rd Judicial Circuit Court in Edwardsville says it quickly takes a turn. The voicemail continues saying, "Our facility has been requested to contact you after receiving proper documentation indicating that you failed to appear Friday, August 8th for your assigned term of service federal grand jury." He says citizens who returned the call were asked for money in order to allegedly make things correct with the jury commission. To be clear, if someone is summoned to jury duty, they'll receive an official summons from the jury commission in the mail. The letter tells the prospective juror date, the time and location they're supposed to report to. Even if you don't show up after a second notice, the judge says sheriff's deputies will not call you about your absence. So do not be lured.
You use that as an excuse for not showing up? No, I thought this was a scam. I didn't know.
I'm sure there will be some people that do that.
I think it's worth a try. Although I went to my jury duty. They didn't accept me. I was rejected.
Okay, so you did your duty.
I tried.
You showed up.
I did show up.
Yeah.
Here's one. Josh and I both saw this story, and
I've been dying to know what is the big deal with this story since you both printed it off.
Mosquitoes have been discovered in Iceland for the first time ever.
Ever.
It has been one of the world's few mosquito-free places until now. 3 Colicera annulata mosquitoes. I'm sure I pronounced it absolutely correctly.
I am too.
2 females and 1 male were sighted around. And how do you tell?
Yeah.
If it's a male and female, I don't know.
Boy, you really got to look closely.
I just slap it is what I have to say.
I think the males are the bigger ones.
They wear the leather jackets, slick their hair back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Google a picture of a male mosquito. I don't think the males bite. I think it's just the females, which makes
that's like in all
total
species.
sense.
Makes total sense. The Icelandic Monitor, a local paper, reported that the insects had been found in a residential backyard. Bjorn Yaltsen, I'm sure I got that right too, said he spotted the mosquitoes over multiple days. He captured them, sent them in to be checked out, and yes, they were mosquitoes. They're trying to figure out how. It's the first record of mosquitoes occurring in a natural environment in Iceland ever. They think they could have been coming in on a ship, in a container, something like that. There is speculation. Immediately you would think everybody, rising temperatures, longer summers, so on and so forth. But Dr. Alfredson, who was checking it out, says that this species appears to be well adapted to colder climates, and it allows them to withstand long, harsh winters.
Of course, they can survive anything.
They can survive anything. Maybe not like cockroaches, but close. And he says that it's probably not climate change, as he said. Ships probably brought them in, but as things warm up, more can survive in more previously severe climates.
Huh. Well, that is interesting. I hear Iceland's one of the most popular places to visit, and it's just absolutely stunning.
The newest season of Rick Steves.
Is Iceland?
2 episodes dedicated to it.
Who's this?
Rick Steves, he's a travel writer.
Oh.
And he's got a show on PBS.
My mom went, but,
I always-
she didn't like it.
Iceland?
To Iceland?
Yeah, she was pretty old, though, at the time. And, it's okay. And Mom, it's supposed to be, it was okay. Kind of cold. Not a lot of trees. I go, okay, Mom. All right, Mom.
Enough.
She's 85 or
There
whatever.
aren't a lot of trees. Yeah. You know what? I kind of feel good that the Icelanders now have to deal with what the rest of us have been dealing with for millennia.
Misery loves company.
Wow.
Yeah,
I would
right?
say,
That is a
sorry. Yeah.
That is a sick way to be.
The male mosquitoes do not bite humans. Only female mosquitoes bite as they need the protein in blood to develop their eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Male mosquitoes feed exclusively on nectar and other plant juices.
Yeah.
So don't blame the fellas.
The guys are the cool ones.
Yeah.
All right. We
Right.
had that AWS outage, the Amazon Web Services outage,
Right.
and it affected most anybody who was plugged in. They say AWS provides about 40% of all web services in the country. So if you had something like a wire transfer at your bank, didn't happen. If you were trying to log into your Peloton or your knockoff Peloton, Heidi, probably didn't happen. But if you had an 8-sleep bed, this is a high-tech bed that is connected to the internet.
There's a bed that you can connect to the internet.
That
What does it
sleeps 8?
do?
Exactly. Exactly. I'll tell you what it does in just a second, but everything's connected to the internet now in our house. Our thermostat. Apparently, we need to plug our refrigerators in.
What?
So that they can monitor the coldness of our milk. I think it's all pretty stupid, but here's what can happen.
My refrigerator is not hooked up to the internet.
Well, good. Mine's not. I got a dumb fridge. Here's what happened to people who bought this bed when Amazon outage went out. Cloud servers failed, and people reported being woken up in discomfort as beds locked into an upright position.
They've made a V and smashed them.
Well,
Did they move on their own, or they were in that position and then they couldn't get it down?
Well, there was that too. But when the thing went off, it went into default mode, which is sitting up. So you would have been woken up by your bed starting to collapse on you. The heating sensors went off.
Now it's 140 degrees in your bed.
And blinking lights or even a sounded wake-up alarm went off. Now, the AWS systems went down at 3 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't you think that it was a ghost or something was just weird in your house?
Midnight
That's
Pacific.
crazy.
No.
The CEO has apologized and said they're going to do an outage-proof mode so that if these things went down again. But a guy at a university in England says complexity always causes issues. The servers basically disappeared off the internet, so as far as the beds were concerned, there was nothing for them to talk to. If they don't know what to do, they will go into some sort of failure mode.
Okay, again, what does the bed do?
All right. So the bed, I looked this up.
Heat, cold.
Temperature control.
Okay.
It'll go up and down. If you're snoring, I guess it'll hear you because it's always listening to you as well. If you're snoring, it'll raise your head up a little bit to make you stop snoring.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Biometric tracking, sleep data. It measures your heart rate, which I don't know why the bed needs to do that. But
Well, if you don't want to wear a smart watch or the other things, there's a lot to do with that.
I don't want my bed to think.
That's
Leave
what-
me alone.
guys, just be a bed. Has anyone had a problem with a bed just being a bed?
I don't know. I think this is kind of cool.
All right. Well, I'll hand you this story, but just
Okay.
keep in mind that
It
until
could
they
collapse on me.
do the fix,
Yeah.
it might wake you up in the middle of the night.
I mean, who doesn't want the bed to be a little colder? How often are you flipping your pillow
Yeah, that's
to
true.
get the cold side? If your bed can just kind of chill a little,
And that would be
But
if
then when it snaps you in half like the
Yeah.
Three Stooges.
it's going to be hurtful.
I mean, it might be nice if you go to bed and it's 70 degrees and your body heats up or whatever
Mm-hmm.
during it'll cool you off, or maybe you get cold in the middle of the night and it'll heat you
Yeah.
up. I don't know. Put on a pair of socks. But the professor says computers are relatively dumb. They will do what you tell them what to do. And if there's no one telling them what to do, they go completely haywire.
Yeah.
I wish you people would look at some science fiction movies.
You would know what's coming.
iRobot.
Yeah, somebody said my cat steps on my remote for bed and it will fold me up it's the worst. Yeah, that's so
The
funny.
cat knows what he's doing.
It's on purpose.
Yep.
What'd you do to the cat? Coming up, Lauren Risley joins us. We're going to talk about some investment properties, the do's and don'ts, after a quick break.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
Let the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra take you on a journey through the Nordic countryside at Prokofiev and Sibelius from dark to light on October 24th and 25th. The SLSO performs Sibelius's sweeping Second Symphony, and renowned violinist Augustin Hadovich joins to dazzle on Prokofiev's Second Violin Concerto. Led by rising star conductor Tabita Berglund, performances take place at the newly reopened Powell Hall October 24th and 25th. Tickets at slso.org.
If you need a credit score of 750, you need Analytico750.com. Analytico750.com is the credit health partner that works for you. With Analytico750.com, you get smarter, faster credit updates. Forget waiting 45 days. At Analytico750, we provide fresh updates every 30 days. Plus, you get access to all 3 credit bureaus and unlimited reports for just $25 a month. But there's more. We also provide business credit reports, personal credit analyzation, and credit monitoring to keep tabs on your score 24/7. We even offer rapid rescore to accelerate score changes and a security freeze to lock down your credit from identity thieves. After you sign up, one of our credit experts will help you aim for a 750 credit score. Build your credit score to 750 with Analytico750.com. Call 800-850-0750. 800-850-0750. That's 800-850-0750.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with a mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
This is Mariah, 3rd generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey.
on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our house in the middle of our streets. Our house in the middle of our house.
Lauren Risley, founder of Lauren Risley Realty, is also a landlord. So today we're talking about the do's and don'ts of investment properties. How many properties do you have?
I
Do you
can't
want to
disclose
share?
that.
I was going to say.
I can't
okay.
disclose
What?
that.
Why not?
More than one?
More than one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Less
60?
than 25. More than one, less than 25. I don't know. Math is hard, first of all. And
Yeah.
then second, when you get into duplexes or as
Yeah,
Josh
that's
calls them,
true.
up downs,
Up
and like
downs.
4 families, then it's like, is it 1 property? Is it 4? I do have 4 tenants,
Yeah.
4 water heaters, 4 air conditioning
got
units.
you.
But what do we call it? You know?
Here's what I will say, that Lauren took the time to teach my youngest, who's interested in real estate, about buying his first properties, and hopefully he's well on his way. We'll see.
He was smarter than me. I'm like, you sure you don't want to mentor me? Like, which is honestly funny. So good friends of yours who are now good friends of mine, Patty and Cheryl.
Yes.
Golfed Adam and I. So Adam's my right hand man. This is funny to me, maybe not to others, but we were golfing and Patty said, I was on the phone, a work call, because it just happens 7
All
days
the
a week.
time.
Yeah.
Any hour
And
of
she
the day.
was listening. She goes, you are unbelievably smart. And Adam spit whatever was in his mouth out across the thing. And he was like, what did you say? And she's like, she is so smart. And he was like, you should come to some of our meetings.
Yeah.
Like, he's like,
The other side of
He's
Lauren.
like, she has once asked how to spell scene, as in like, what's the next scene? He's like, I think she asked if there's a Y in volts. Like, he's like, math, don't even go there. And then he goes, but yes, when it comes to real estate, there is not a single problem she can't solve.
Yeah.
And I feel that in my bones. Like,
It's your passion.
Everyday
That's your thing.
everyday life, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is tough. I hope someone's here to help me. But when it comes to real estate, it is
You're on it.
It is the jam. And
Yeah.
but your son was on it, man. His head's in the right direction as far
Well,
as
thank you.
If we're talking about investing, I mean, when people ask, I rehab houses, I have a real estate team, I have rentals. If you have a regret in real estate, what is it? I wish I would have bought a duplex as my first house.
Yeah.
And that's what I talked to your son about.
Yep.
So what's the first thing you look for? Is it a specific location? Do you want to be close to schools? Do you want to be, or like a college? Do you want to be close to a hospital? If you're looking for an investment property, what's your first thing?
Budget.
Ah.
So, Adam and I, on our Sunday show, we talk about it from time to time. But one of the biggest things, I think if you listen to podcasts or you read investment books, I do think the general recommendation is like a duplex or a 4-family. Okay. I personally think a single family is the best first investment in St. Louis, at least.
Really?
So unless you're living in it, Bob just gave me a look because he's
No,
like,
no,
that
I'm
is
just
not what you
curious.
taught my son.
Yeah.
So like for your son, if he wants to buy a house versus renting a house, well then buy a duplex, live in one side, rent the other side out, and let that tenant
That pays
basically
for the
pay your
mortgage.
mortgage,
Yeah.
right?
So smart.
And then whatever here's where you have to go that extra step to be more smart is whatever you would have been paying in rent, should you have rented and not bought, or in your mortgage as a single family, continue to put that money away. So then you can save that for a down payment on the next investment property.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so it's not just, yes, let someone pay my mortgage. It's, and then do something with that money.
Yeah, I'm saving
And then
X because
save
of
that.
that.
Because then
Yeah.
you get
And
2
invest it.
properties by the time you're 25, you know?
That's incredible. Okay, so budget is number one.
Yeah. And so, in St. Louis, if you're looking at a duplex or a 4-family, I mean, your entry point in a place where so I'm not talking about safety. I'm talking about hip neighborhoods where you're going to get good tenants. Vacancies are low because people want to be close to WashU, SLU, Barnes, whatever it is. You're probably looking at a $350,000 entry point.
Okay.
Okay. So as an investment, pretty much across the board, you have to put 20% down. If you're when you buy a home, you're either owner occupying or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of in between.
Yeah.
We can get a little fancy and nerdy and say if you buy a house 60 miles from your primary residence, you can put 5 or 10% down because it's a second home.
Got it.
But if you're not occupying it and it's an investment, it's 20% down.
And there's no PMI, there's no option.
There is no PMI. Sometimes, if you're a new investor, sometimes banks will do 25% down.
Ooh.
So there is no PMI. But to the point of your son, it's like, well, if you're owning it, you can put 3% down. You can put 5% down. Like there's not many times in this world you'll have the opportunity to buy a 2-family or a 4-family with 3% down. Get a first-time homebuyer loan. Do 0% down.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like once you're in a regular house and you're no longer, and you're buying an investment, it's 20% down.
Yeah.
I'd rather, as a young person, well, if I were a young person,
You recall.
yeah, I would have bought a 2-family, and then, I want my own yard. I don't want someone living next to me, like right next to me. I don't want an apartment feel. Great, I'll put 3% down on a duplex, and then when I go buy a house, I don't need to buy a $350,000 house like I did to get into the investment world. I can buy a little $175,000 bungalow, right? So, but same reason why I think your first investment is as a single family is you can get a really nice single family house for $150,000 to $175,000.
So you're in for less
You're
money.
in for less money because it's 20% down. So whether it's a single family or a duplex, budget is going to be the biggest thing, right? Because
and you're also
putting
managing only one family, not 4.
one tenant,
Right.
one AC, one water heater. Yes. So, and so I think for younger people, I think, and especially, we've had, Josh has pulled up articles about harder for millennials to buy houses. They're so expensive and the inventory is so low. But what we're seeing is millennials and Gen Z, is that it called?
I think so.
Is that a thing?
Is that right,
Younger
Josh?
than them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think Gen
I told you I
Z's
wasn't
ready.
good at math, okay?
Yeah, Gen Z's not ready to buy houses.
They're in their
just
20s.
yet. Are they?
Google it.
They're getting there.
Google it. But they want to travel, right? They don't want to go into the office and work. They want to work remote, and they want to.
They don't
travel.
want to be
wanna-
tied
They want
down.
to YOLO. You only live once, and so so I think for that, buying a duplex or a 4-family that you don't have to be there. You have renters that pay that bill, and it's not a house just sitting empty all the time, right?
That great points, and I think you bring up something else that maybe we don't think about when we think 4-family, and it is the water heater and all the keep with all of that.
Yeah, I mean, huge upkeep. We actually have David Spector with Choice Home Warranty on our Sunday show sometimes, occasionally, and that's one way to kind of give peace of mind. Like 10 years ago, we used to say you need to have 6 months worth of bills before you buy a house. And that's like your safety net. Now, I don't think that's not accurate, but I think if you have a home warranty that covers some of your larger items like your water heater, your HVAC, your appliances, any electrical, any plumbing, that gives you a little more peace of mind. You have to have less of that safety net because if you have a home warranty, if something in the house were to break, it's covered with a $75 deductible.
Got it. What are some things that maybe we should be leery of if we're thinking about buying an investment property?
Honestly, just have someone that knows what they're doing. Like whether it's our team, Lauren Isley Realty, whether it's someone everyone has an agent they know, right? Everyone has an aunt, a neighbor, a cousin.
Yep.
A dog walker's neighbor's friend's uncle, Everyone has someone they know, but ask their experience in investing. Not just have you worked with investors, have you invested on your own? Because you can work with an investor, when that deal's closed, they may not have any idea what that investor has gone through, good or bad.
Right.
So finding out. So for instance, Adam on our team, he invests. He owns property. Jamie owns property. So when you do it, when we had that big storm, poor Jamie, 2 different of her houses in Dogtown had huge trees fall down. Thankfully not on the house, but like one of her trees fell in the neighbor's garage. One of her trees at the other house completely uprooted, and the roots were under the fence, so it pulled the entire fence line up.
Oh man!
And so what do you? And then you go, what do I do? Right? Well, call us. And that's
you've been there, you've done it.
We've been there, we've done that. We know exactly what to do. We know who to send out. And so our relationship with our clients doesn't stop at the closing table.
Yeah.
Our relationship with our clients continues on. We reach out every 2 or 3 months, and when they have issues, they call us. I think we're the first call for things that really aren't even related to real estate. So I think we're on the.
What's the temperature of baby formula? What do I have to do?
I got an email that said, "Hey, where's the best place for us to get new dishes?" I was like, well, I DoorDash and it comes in plastic, but I don't know if you want something fancy.
Hey, my bed is stuck in the upright position.
Yeah.
So I have an off-topic
I love that.
So you've got this big white house.
Was this something you guys argued about earlier?
And you decide you're going to tear part of it down to add a ballroom.
Okay. Does the
square footage?
color of the house matter? If
Yes.
it's
Yes.
okay.
Yes, it
If
does.
it's called
What was
the White
square
House.
footage?
I think 8,000 square feet.
Does
is-
that
so
add value?
small.
Does that add value to the house, or is it like a swimming pool?
Let me ask this: are they filming Dancing with the Stars in this ballroom?
Maybe eventually.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
That's a great idea.
they're gonna have one of those MMA fights on the front lawn.
I think that's fine. I think once it becomes a like a landmark, the value is there. Now, if they're putting a ballroom in this 8,000 square foot, what's called a White House,
Yes.
and it's just the people that are occupying the house dancing in there. I'm not sure how much value that's bringing.
How
But
many ballrooms have you seen in St. Louis?
quite a few.
Yeah, I was going to say
Really?
there's more
Quite a
than you
few.
think.
Yeah.
Very
Central West
cool.
End has
Central
a
West
bunch of them on the third floor.
Compton
Compton
Heights
Heights, yeah.
proper,
Oh,
the
third
third
floor?
floor.
It's
on the
Yeah.
third
And
floor.
they're
Yeah.
haunted. There's still ghosts shaking a
Dancing?
leg up there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
spinning around.
They're very interesting.
There's a house on Longfellow in Compton Heights, and it was for sale about. Well, it was an off market. It
It's
was
a
a
great
wholesaler.
street.
It's a great street. It backs up to the Magic Chef Mansion just for location wise. So, I had a wholesaler say, "Hey, I have this property that I'm going to be selling. It's a big one. Do you want to look at it as a renovation?" And I said, "Sure." And so we walk in, and I thought I heard someone. So I was like, "Oh, is the owner here?" He's like, No one's here." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "The house has been vacant or whatever. No one lives here." I'm like, "Okay." It was also weird that the house was vacant, but there were actual like pet rabbits in the living room. So I was like, I'll have to come back and save them, you know? And so we're walking around and I could hear like a radio, like when it's not in tune,
Oh,
you know?
come on. Oh, I just
but
got chills.
also vacant houses will have a radio there so that people think someone's in the house or lives there so they don't
Right.
break in or
Yeah.
vandalize. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's for sure what it is. So we get up to the third floor, whereas as we're moving around the house and moving up, that's where I thought the sound came from. We get up to the third floor and it's off. And I said, "Dan, did you not hear it?" He goes, "No, I did." And then you hear a huge slam down on the first floor.
Okay.
And I was like,
Stop, we're
"Hey,
done.
Dan, so I'm out. I'm going to be out on this one." And
Yeah.
so we walk out. We're standing in the front yard chatting about it. And the front door, which was closed, slammed shut. And I was like, I'll later, bud.
Yeah.
I'll
Perform your
text you.
duty.
I will text you
Finish
from
this
the car.
conversation
Yep.
later.
Yep.
Do you think this
And I
guy
don't
was
really-
like, "Dang it, lost another one"?
No, I think he was like, gotta run home and change my drawers.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I don't really, is it, am I going to be in trouble? Like, am I cursing myself saying I don't believe in ghosts?
No,
They're
I
not
don't
gonna
think
like come
so.
after me now, are they?
Hope not.
Like, I'm open to them being here.
Yes.
I'll share my space with them. I would prefer that they don't try to scare me or tickle me or do anything weird. But I don't see ghosts. Like, I'm not one of those people that like feel spirits or see things. So for this to happen in that house, I was like, oh, this
Whoa.
is terrifying.
That's creepy.
Yeah, super.
And we have
creepy.
clients that do feel stuff. Like we'll walk in and they'll be like, ooh. And I'm like, what happened to you just now? And they're like, you didn't feel that? I'm like, clearly not like you did. They're
Yeah.
like,
How do I get some of what you're
yeah. And they said, I can feel the spirit here. They're fine with us being here. I'm like, okay, if that changes, please let me know. Right?
Do you want the spirits? Because the price may have just gone up.
Well, so this one couple, it was in Fox Park, 63104, and we walked in and she did the ooh thing, and I was like, whatever. And so I was like, it's a nice house, just carry on, you know. So we're looking through, and we get to the third floor, and she goes, I can't be up here. She goes, it's bad up here.
No.
It's really bad up here. And I was like, all right, like what's really bad? She's like, I don't know. So we ended up looking at other houses over the next couple weeks, and she called and said, hey, we really love that house on Victor, but I need to know more about the house. And I'm like, okay. So we go back to the house again. She says that she still feels it upstairs.
Yeah.
And so she said, is there any way for you to find out if an Elizabeth lived here?
No, stop.
Yep. And Elizabeth did live there.
No.
Stop.
Did Elizabeth die there?
So I went to our title company. Our title company did chain of title, and it was like years and years and years ago. But Elizabeth, so then me and the clients, this is what we do for our clients. They're like, I love the house, but I need to make good with the spirit. I'm like, whatever it takes. What do you need me to do?
Anything for a sale.
Yeah. So we're door knocking the neighbors. So we're knocking on the doors, and the lady across the street, it was an older gal. She had been there a long time, and she said, the story that she was told from her parents is that a woman named Elizabeth, lived on the 3rd floor. She was a agoraphobe, afraid to leave the house.
Yeah.
And would always be looking out that front window upstairs, but she was basically stayed on that 3rd floor, but like never left the house. So I don't know what my client did. My client did something to make peace. They bought the house, but she made peace with Elizabeth. Elizabeth welcomed them to the house. I did not go to the housewarming party.
These two stories you need to do on your Halloween Sunday show.
Yes, these
You're
are good
right.
ones.
Halloween's on a Friday. Do we do it the Sunday before?
This Sunday.
This Sunday
It
we
is
get
the Sunday
spooky.
before.
All right, we can get
It'd be
spooky.
great because those are great stories.
Those are
There-
fantastic
we have
stories.
A handful. It's crazy. Some of the stuff we've seen is.
All right,
pretty
save
wild.
those for next
I will.
Wednesday
I
on
will.
this show.
Yes.
A lot of what we talk about here, as you just heard, Lauren and Adam talk about in depth on Call the Closer with Lauren Risley Realty, airs here on the Big 550 KTRS Sundays at 1. And of course, if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you just want Lauren to hold your hand and walk through one that is haunted, call Lauren Risley Realty 314-775-0684. You can also email her at hello@laurenrisleyrealty.com.
I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. All right, we're getting to Captain Paul a little later, but how's traffic looking?
Heidi, there's an accident on northbound 270 at Dorset blocking the 2 right lanes. A crash on eastbound 44 at Allenton Six Flags Road has been moved to the shoulder. Westbound 64 is crowded from Kings Highway to Hampton and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the 6470 interchange. Southbound 270 congested from Olive Down to 64. Southbound 55 is running slow from Potomac to 4500 South Broadway, where it's stop and go. And eastbound 64 bogs down at 170. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got another chilly night tonight. A little colder, 42 for the low. Outlying areas mid to upper 30s. You couple that with some light winds, and we could see some patchy frost, especially in valleys and outlying areas, especially areas north of St. Louis as well. And then sunny skies and a high of 65. It's another cool sunny day. Just won't be as breezy with lighter winds in the afternoon. Friday's cloudy day with a high of 61 degrees, so cool and cloudy, and a 20% chance for a light shower late day into the evening. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Recently, a good friend of mine was changing the light fixture in their kitchen, and they took the light fixture off the ceiling, and they looked inside the ceiling and said, "What is the phone number to Michael Baldy?" If they would have listened to me, they would have put Michael Baldy's phone number in their phone, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. So here you go. The next time you need an electrician, you need to remember Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. So the phone number, 314-968-9999. Indoor, outdoor, an old Victorian home, knob and tube wiring, and anything and everything in between. You see, Michael Baldy is a licensed electrician, and he has a team ready to go. Whether it's something for the ceiling in the kitchen, something for the lights for the holidays, whatever it may be, Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. BaldyElectric.com, 314-968-9999, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. BaldyElectric.com.
Permajack of St. Louis is synonymous with foundation repair and basement waterproofing across the St. Louis region. They know when you get water in your basement following a storm or when the snow melts, it means you have a problem. Make sure your basement doesn't leak or flood with Permajack of St. Louis. Permajack's basement waterproofing experts can perform a complete inspection of your basement to determine the problem and design a solution to keep water from entering and damaging your home. The solution could be as simple as crack repair or a sump pump, or more comprehensive like exterior waterproofing or an internal perimeter drainage system. No matter the solution, your basement will be dry with Hometown Permajack. Schedule a free inspection and estimate by visiting permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack, foundation repair and waterproofing. Done right.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment. You fill out a health questionnaire form. You get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home. And then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners. And then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Carney. Buck.
Thursday on the Carney Show, I sit down with the guy who was Michael Jackson's record manager for several years.
Should be interesting. And also, we'll talk to the people from the Chicago Sports Spectacular.
I'm just practicing.
We'll see you here at noon.
John Carney. Julie Buck. Weekdays at noon on KTRS. The talk of St. Louis. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey.
on the Big 550 KTRS.
I love that you are playing this because I have a list of the biggest Halloween songs in Hot 100 history.
Oh.
And this is it. I used to love this song.
It is a good song. Yeah.
Somebody's Watching Me, Rockwell, peaked at number 2.
Oh,
as
really?
far as that goes. Another one that I never think of as a Halloween song, Dark Lady by Cher, but I was on my walk the other day.
I don't think I know that.
Oh, you know it, where she is getting her tarot cards read and she smells the perfume that she had smelt before when she goes back. Will you find it, Josh?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, already on it.
Okay. Do you have it right now?
No, not yet.
Okay. Couple other ones. Of course, Monster Mash.
Yep.
Was number 1 back when Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Kickers came out with that one. Ghostbusters also reached number 1.
Okay.
A fun one. I don't know, Frankenstein by the Edgar Winter
Edgar Winter
Group.
Group.
Okay.
I'm sure that was just exactly like it.
Still don't know it.
Everybody at home just
Kev's
did.
in there laughing at it.
Everybody at home did the same thing, Bob.
Yeah, somebody in all cap letters just say, "I love Dark Lady." I do too.
Here
Okay.
it is. Okay.
Dark lady laughed and danced and lit the candles one by one.
I don't know this
You
song. I've never heard it.
Oh, you're not even getting to the good part.
Magic till the clock struck on the 12.
Oh.
She told me more about me than I knew myself.
Oh, that's one of the.
There you go.
And mumbled some words that were so strange to me. And then she turned up a two-eyed jack. My eyes saw red, but the
I have heard it.
It's a
That's the part I
song.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this this would be a story song?
Yes, it's a story song, and it is a Halloween song, according to this list.
That's wild.
Here's another one of my favorites, all-time favorites, Black Cat by Janet Jackson. Never considered it
Oh yeah.
a Halloween song.
It's not a Halloween song.
I'm telling you, this list says biggest
The list.
Halloween
She's got it in
songs.
writing, Josh.
That's right. Another one, Bad Moon Rising.
Yeah.
Okay.
CCR.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll take that one as a Halloween song?
Wolfman, right? What about Clap for the Wolfman by the Guess Who?
I don't know that one.
You don't know that one?
I don't think I do either. Black Magic Woman, Santana.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Or by Peter Green's
Yeah, Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, okay.
He wrote it, but Santana made it famous.
I don't know Devil Woman by Cliff Richard.
It's a good one. Oh, you'd know it if you
I
heard
know
it.
that one. Okay.
Yeah, classic rock.
Oh, yeah, I do.
No,
that one you did.
that's
evil.
Yeah.
That's ELO.
Somebody said Donovan Season of the Witch.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. Devil with the Blue Dress On.
That's a great song.
Uh-huh.
That's a great song.
The Monster, Eminem. That's one of the more new ones. And then On Our Own from Ghostbusters 2. Is that really a Halloween song? Spooky, Classic 4. Know that one?
Spooky little girl like you.
Huh. So anyway,
was kind of crazy.
just a
little girl like you.
Okay,
don't
I
think
just
so.
listened to this Cliff Richard song. I have heard it.
okay.
Devil woman.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a good song.
I
So-
mentioned that we're going to a friend's house in the RV this weekend. We're going to have a bonfire, and it's going to kind of be our own little Halloween party. I'm going to put together this list as a playlist.
I can't believe Rhiannon's not on there. She's the story of a Welsh witch.
She's
You're
a witch?
right.
Yeah,
Rhiannon's a witch?
a Welsh witch.
I never really looked at the lyrics. I always mention this whenever it comes up because it doesn't come up very often, but Cliff Richard is the British version of Elvis. He's their Elvis.
I could
What?
not pick him out of a lineup.
I couldn't either, but if you talk to a Brit and you say Cliff Richard, they go, oh.
I thought
You know.
Tom Jones was their Elvis.
Tom Jones is their Tom Jones.
Somebody on the text line says most of Ozzy's songs are Halloween songs.
probably.
yeah.
Maybe. All right. It is about 9 minutes before 5 o'clock. Let's check in with Captain Paul over there. How's traffic?
Heidi, no accidents. Westbound 64 is crowded from Kings Highway to Hampton and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the 6470 interchange. Southbound 270 is congested from Olive down to Manchester. Northbound 270 jammed from Manchester to 64. Southbound 55 is running slow from Potomac to 4500 South Broadway. And eastbound 64 bogs down at 170. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. Dents Express, STL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
I saw this story a couple of days ago about a suspicious stand near a Florida airport that President Trump uses, but I haven't seen anything since they kind of said, look, we found this. Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor and retired senior Secret Service agent, joins us with more on that story. Has anything else come to light?
Nothing else, Heidi, but the whole story came to light because before President Trump went to West Palm Beach, the Secret Service emergency response team was sweeping the perimeter of the airport, which is not an easy thing to do.
I can't imagine.
And, it's a lot of property to cover, and they came across this tree stand, hunting stand, which was in close proximity and had a direct line of sight to where Air Force One taxis and parks. And you never want to have anything with a direct line of sight to when the president's getting on off the plane. So that raised a bunch of concerns, and it raised a bunch of questions about why is it there, how long has it been there for, what's it being used for, who's using it. And for the Secret Service with its protective methodology, has this area been swept before? Have people missed it, or is this something new? So the FBI is doing an investigation about why the stand was there, who put it there, how long it's been there for. And I'm sure the Secret Service is going to look at its protective methodologies about, have we checked this area? Do we check this area? Should we check more of this area? And probably should we start moving the plane around? Because, Air Force One's not an easy plane to put on airports or at airports.
Uh-huh.
So there's only so many places you can put that plane. But it might be time, because otherwise you start interfering with the general airport flow of traffic and everything. But it might be time where they start moving the plane to some different spots, especially in West Palm Beach, so that way people can't predict where the plane's going to go.
So, Don, my question gets maybe a little deeper into the weeds. Is that deer stand, assuming that's what it is, on private property? And does the Secret Service have the power to say, hey, you got to take this down if they find the owner?
Well, it's on property that's adjacent to the airport. I'm going to assume that it's curtilage around the airport, so it's airport property.
Yep.
Because most airports, the fence of an airport is not generally at the perimeter of the airport. There's land usually around the perimeter of the airport, and then you have the fence, and then you have the airport. So I'm assuming now that it's the property is owned or patrolled by the airport, or like in a lot of places that have property surrounding airport, the property is either, a wildlife refuge or a park or something like that to just keep a buffer zone around the airport.
Hey, Don, we've talked a lot about the National Guard and whether or not they have policing powers. But what about the Secret Service? Are they cops, so to speak?
Oh, yeah. The Secret Service under 18 U.S.C. 3056 have the full authority of federal agents to arrest, apprehend, investigate, enforce all U.S. laws and codes and stuff. And then in some states, they're also afforded a state peace officer authority as well, Florida being one of them, where most federal agencies in Florida are given the same authorities as Florida police officers. So there's no question about the Secret Service authority. The National Guard's interesting because the National Guard, having worked with the National Guard years ago when I was in the Coast Guard and we were doing counter-drug interdiction operations, the National Guard's role is pretty specific. They are a force presence. They are a observation and lookout post, so to speak. And after 9/11, we used them to project security and safety and stability around the nation at airports, subways, and terminals because we thought Al-Qaeda was gonna attack everything. So they have a very specific function, and I know it gets conflated a lot in the news cycle, but they have one function, that's to be a force presence and project security wherever they're at. That's it.
So would the Secret Service investigate this deer stand, or would you guys turn it over to the FBI or local law enforcement?
They called in the FBI to investigate the deer stand. The Deputy Director Bongino says they removed the deer stand. They brought it to the FBI lab, and they're going to tear it apart and look for fibers and fingerprints and you name it to try to figure out why it's there, how long it's been there, and who's owned it. The Secret Service piece of it will be looking at its protective methodology about have they missed it? Do they need to do a deeper dive when they're doing security sweeps? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Don, you're covering another story about swatting on the rise. Of course, we saw several incidents reported at universities across the country, and now we're seeing more at high schools.
Yeah, the whole swatting epidemic it's actually very disturbing because, swatting is a situation where somebody violent encounter going on at, in this case, a school or a college, and then it forces the police to respond as if they're responding to a violent incident, an active shooter incident. So they get to the campuses, they get to the schools, they go in like they're going to go for an active shooter, And then, it's very disruptive and it's very dangerous to both the law enforcement officers and the students and the staff that are at these colleges and high schools. But the FBI sent out guidance not too long ago that said that you have to treat swatting incidents as if they are real until you determine they're not. And for schools and colleges, they're supposed to lock down and stay in place because of the unknowns with a swatting incident. They don't know if it is or is not a swatting incident until it's proven it is. So it's a real disturbing trend. The FBI's got a couple of open cases. They've made some arrests in the past of people that have conducted swatting events, but there's been a rash of them lately, and the FBI's got an open case trying to figure out where this is coming from.
Yeah, it is really disturbing. Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green online at jewelsonhampton.com.
Everybody loves good barbecue, and everybody wants to know where the next great barbecue place is. And if you're looking for an overnight sensation, it's only taken them 10 years. Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery, Woods Mill and Clayton Road. There is a gas station, West County Phillips 66 gas station. In that gas station, in the back, for 10 years, some of the best barbecue in town. Bring a friend and spread the word. Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Don't forget about the bakery. 3baybarbecueandbakery.com.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM
From
106.1.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. Treasury Department issuing sanctions on 2 Russian oil companies. President Trump announcing that move while meeting with NATO's Secretary General at the White House in a new push to end the war in Ukraine.
These are tremendous sanctions. These are very big. Those are against their 2 big oil companies, and we hope that they won't be on for long. We hope that the war will be settled.
The president says he canceled a meeting with Russia's President Vladimir Putin in Hungary because he didn't feel it was right and he didn't think it would lead to a ceasefire. The president defended U.S. military strikes on alleged drug boats, the latest today in the Pacific near Central America. 7 other U.S. strikes have occurred on vessels in the Caribbean. ABC's Matt Rivers has more on the impact on the drug flow.
It's not actually having a huge impact on the amount of drugs arriving to the United States. If you're trying to send a message, if you're trying to make life more difficult for drug traffickers, then of course, yes, there will be some impact to this. If you are a drug trafficker operating in the Eastern Pacific, might you think twice before getting on that boat?
The government shutdown now in its 22nd day. The Senate taking up another vote on a measure to end it, but it's not expected to pass. Lawmakers remain deadlocked on a compromise on expiring health care benefits. In Israel, Vice President J.D. Vance today meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, asking for patience on the recovery of deceased hostages in Gaza. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge has more.
So far, Hamas has now returned 15 bodies of deceased hostages. That leaves 13 more unaccounted for, and they need to be returned as part of this deal. And also as part of the deal, in return for every single deceased hostage returned, Israel is returning 15 bodies of Palestinians.
Vance says the U.S. remains confident the ceasefire will hold. Tropical storm Melissa gaining strength in the Atlantic. It could become a hurricane with life-threatening conditions for parts of the Caribbean in the coming days. You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Terrace News, I'm Sobe Bay. The law license of former St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner is once again in jeopardy. This time it's over her office's use of public money to save her personal law license. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports that state disciplinary lawyers are accusing Gardner of violating 4 professional conduct rules when she directed her employees to issue over $5,000 in checks to reimburse herself for a 2022 Supreme Court reprimand. A portion of St. Louis County's RAM settlement money will go towards repaving roads in dozens of subdivisions. Last night, the County Council approved a nearly $6.2 million contract for repaving and road infrastructure improvements in 16 subdivisions throughout St. Louis County. Representative Wesley Bell has introduced legislation that would allow FEMA operations during the government shutdown. The FEMA Operations Continuity Act of 2025 will ensure that FEMA can continue delivering disaster relief, recovery, and mitigation assistance during a lapse in government funding. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley introduced 2 bills to reinstate SNAP benefits and critical farm programs during the government shutdown. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
The Keep SNAP Funded Act would ensure full funding for the SNAP program during the government shutdown. Under the bill, Congress would appropriate the necessary funding to provide uninterrupted SNAP benefits, retroactive to the start of the shutdown. More than 650,000 Missourians stand to lose their access to food benefits next month. Senator Josh Hawley also introduced the Fund Farm Programs Act, which would reopen all Farm Service Agency offices and ensure resumed services for all FSA programs. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
Officials say the flight with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was diverted to Lambert Airport last night after luggage fell and hit a crew member on the head. The crew member reportedly suffered a concussion. Albanese's plane was headed back to Australia after finalizing a deal at the White House. This is Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, and health officials on both sides of the river are urging residents to be aware. More from KTRS's Stu Potter.
According to the city of St. Louis, many homes built here before 1978 contain lead-based paint that, when ingested, even by inhaling lead dust, can cause serious health problems to the nervous system and cause kidney damage and learning disabilities, especially for children under the age of 6. St. Louis does offer lead inspections free of charge in homes where children under 6 years old or pregnant women reside. In Illinois, the state has been expanding childhood testing, and they're working for universal testing to begin next year. Officials say that since adopting more stringent standards, the number of cases calling for medical intervention has increased by 56%, which they say means more children are receiving services to overcome the harmful effects of lead. Lead Poisoning Week runs through Saturday. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce is now a part owner of Six Flags. Kelce joined the investment group Jana Partners to become an investor of the popular amusement park. And this look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. Big drop on Wall Street today. Dow Jones fell 334 points to close at 46,590. S&P 500 fell 36 points to close at 6,699. And NASDAQ down 213 points to finish at 22,740. Now let's get a check of sports and traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
Sobe KTRS Sports Mizzou insider Eli Hoff is reporting that another contract extension could be in the works for head football coach Eli Drinkwitz. Check out the big sports show tonight at 8 to hear what direction this latest development could go. And St. Louis City SC made multiple roster moves yesterday, including picking up the options on Glaus and Chris Durkin. Options were declined on defenders Henry Kessler and Josh Yarrow, but the club says discussions are ongoing to still bring them back. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. Westbound 64 is crowded from Kings Highway to Hampton and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the 6470 interchange. Southbound 270 congested from Olive down to Manchester. Northbound 270 is jammed from Manchester to 64. Southbound 55 running slow from Potomac to 4500 South Broadway. And eastbound 64 slows down at 170. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or plan your next event, specifically group outings or holiday parties at the Rack House. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. KTRS weather tonight, clear, overnight low of 39. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 61. Right now, clear skies, 64 degrees. The time is coming up on 5:09. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550. KTRS.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms at Miller Furniture. We put the family in furniture.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
President Trump said yesterday he could be seeking $230 million from his own Justice Department as compensation for past investigations into him. We invited our KTRS legal analyst and SLU constitutional law professor, Mr. Greg Willard, back to the studio to discuss. So good to see you.
Good afternoon to all three of you. Great to be back with you.
Is this a first?
In terms of a president making a claim like this, Heidi, yes. The breakdown goes like this. If an American citizen, whether it's President Trump or one of our neighbors down in Keener Plaza, thinks they have been wronged by a federal employee, there is the Federal Tort Claims Act, the FTCA, and it, as you might expect, it's sort of this arcane step-by-step that one can attempt to assert a claim against the federal government. If the Justice Department turns that individual down, then that individual can file a lawsuit, and there are probably several thousand claims under the Federal Tort Claims Act pending right now in the courts. And so if President Trump thinks he was wronged, he made a claim in 2023, and I assume he's about to make another one. But if he thinks he has been wronged, like any citizen, he can pursue that process. Secondly, unlike the four of us and our listeners, he is subject to Article 2 of the Constitution, and there's a provision known as the Domestic Emoluments Clause. My 2-year-old granddaughter, Gianna Willard, could probably explain it to our listeners. It is that basic. But it says that within the period that an individual is president of the United States, he cannot receive any emolument from the United States other than his salary. Now, let me say that again. It is right in Article 2 of the Constitution that the only emolument that a president can receive while he is in office from the United States is his salary. A lot of the cable news folks have been flapping away as to the substance of the claim and whether he's going to approve this claim or not approve this claim. Well, okay, that's interesting, and we'll watch that arcane process play out. I would just urge for our listeners to keep their antennae up, because there is a giant red light right there in his section of the Constitution, Article 2, that says while he is president, he cannot receive a dime from the federal government other than his salary, period, full stop.
So you can't get in anybody else's heads, obviously, but you'd have to think somebody in the administration would say, Mr. President, you can't do this.
One would hope that lawyers and advisors are explaining that situation. I think for the supporters of President Trump, they may be wanting to turn a blind eye to the Domestic Emoluments Clause. The opponents are screaming from the rafters, stoplight, stoplight, stoplight. Unfortunately for the opponents, the framers of our Constitution, as the four of us have talked about many times, they did a whale of a great job. But on this clause, the red light for a president getting money other than salary, there's no enforcement mechanism.
Is there a loophole? Because I think he said he would give it to charity.
Well, no, that's not a loophole, because for him to give it,
he has to
receive it.
Okay.
And the Constitution says it just cannot be clearer than that provision, and he can't receive it.
So are you suggesting that his Department of Justice could award that to him because there's nothing in there to say, well, if you try to do this, here's the punishment or the enforcement of that clause?
It would not be the first time that a president has taken action at odds with what his Justice Department tells him or what his opposing political party on Capitol Hill advocates to him. For those of us who feel pretty strongly about what the framers gave us in the Constitution, one would hope that, and again, it could be any of our 45 presidents, that one would hope that he would simply look at Article 2. He doesn't need Pam Bondi to tell him what it means. He can look at Article 2 and say, you know what, we need to figure out a way that we can just wait until January 21st of 2029.
And if he has, say, Vance gets elected in 28, and they still have the same
attorneys still in the Department of Justice who will greenlight this. Then can he
write a check the next day, Josh?
Wow.
January 21st, 2029, the Vance or if it's a Republican, the Trump successor, his or her Justice Department could say, yeah, we agree under the FTCA, he's entitled to $230 million. Secretary of Treasury, write a check.
That
Done.
number, and everybody pointed to, well, isn't that how much the new ballroom costs? He came up with that number years ago, though.
Right. Yeah, it's unrelated to the ballroom.
Unrelated.
You're right. Yeah,
if
he
again,
comes, this is just, he has two claims. My understanding is he has filed the paperwork a couple years ago on the first claim relating to Russia. His second claim, and I haven't read anything about the paperwork, deals with the execution of the search warrant down in Mar-a-Lago, the prosecution against him for the classified documents down there, and maybe the 4-count indictment in Washington over January 6th. I just don't know, Josh. But the 230 is not related to the East Wing demolition.
Right. But if this goes forward, do they say, great, show us some receipts? Or is this number based on his pain and suffering?
A little bit of both. I don't think we're into the world of what we lawyers call actual damages. It's going to cost me $3,300 to fix the dent in my car you caused. On the other hand, we're not talking about punitive damages, which are damages a jury can award to punish someone. We're talking more in the nature of compensatory damages. I think what the president would argue is the hassle, the distraction, et cetera, that I suffered because of Jack Smith and the serving of the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, et cetera, that he kind of bundles all that up and he gets to a $230 million number. But in terms of then coming up with a bunch of Walmart receipts to get there, no, he won't have to do that.
Yeah. Well, we touched on the East Wing and this new ballroom. And in case you're just joining us, we're talking to Mr. Greg Willard, who is our KTRS legal analyst, SLU constitutional law professor. But as much as we love his knowledge when it comes to the Constitution, he also served as President Ford's White House staff assistant, and the stories are remarkable. And so I want to know a little bit about where some of these parties took place before. Was there no ballroom, and does the White House need a ballroom?
I think if you were to ask President Trump's predecessors and the thousands of us who have been honored to work in there, it would be a pretty small group that would advocate that the White House needs a 999-person ballroom. Doesn't mean that the one side is right or the other side is wrong, but there are not a lot of functions that fill up the East Room, which is where they're normally held, from time to time. And then when there are really large functions, as there have been many times through history, they're held very often in a tent that's erected either in the Rose Garden or out on the South Lawn. So, for example, when President Nixon welcomed home the prisoners of war and their families, from that dinner was over 1,300 people. It would not fit in the new ballroom. Okay? When President Nixon in 1969 hosted a dinner for the Apollo 11 crew, first to walk on the moon, 1,440.
Oh, my gosh.
They would not fit in the new ballroom. President Carter, after the peace accords with Sadat and Begin were signed, 1,340. Again, would not fit in this ballroom, but it was wonderful. Some of our listeners may remember watching it on television, all of those events. Then with state dinners, they are traditionally held in the East Room, but from time to time, they can't because of size. Well, then there's a tent built. So, for example, for the bicentennial, America's bicentennial in 1976. President and Mrs. Ford hosted Queen Elizabeth and her husband and the Duke of Edinburgh, and that was held out in a tent on the South Lawn, and then the entertainment was conducted in the East Room, and by all accounts, it was a wonderful, wonderful evening. So back to your question as to do the American people need a 999-person ballroom and the destruction of the East Wing of the White House? History would at least scratch its head in answer to that question. But I think the other piece of history that I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but I think it's going to get a lot of attention. The White House is made out of sandstone. It is a very unique sandstone. There is only one quarry in the world that has the sandstone back into the 1700s. It's called the Aquila Quarry in Virginia. Needless to say, it's owned by the federal government, as it has been for nearly 250 years. And no surprise, that is where sandstone that is needed for repairs to the White House, they come from the Aquila Quarry, that very extraordinary, only place on the planet that has it. What I'm anxious to hear, and pray God that it's true, that they will be able to mine sufficient sandstone to make certain that this ballroom, this ginormous edifice that's being created over there on the southeast corner, it will have on the outside the White House sandstone from the Aquila Quarry, and that we won't have some other
vinyl siding.
Yeah. So, but we'll just have to see. But I, just as a history buff, I would urge our listeners to keep their antennae up for that as to what will be the stone used, and will it be the sandstone that has been used back to John Adams from the Aquila Quarry in Virginia, which is still there. The Aquila Quarry is still there for just
repairs.
Repairs, but whether we could do a whole wing, who knows? But, you know, in the late 40s and early 50s, the main part of the White House was gutted under Harry Truman. He lived at Blair House, and that was all Aquila sandstone that was brought in for that.
Those pictures, if you look them up when Truman redid the inside of they had to deconstruct bulldozers, carry them in the front door, and reconstruct them inside. The whole thing was gutted.
Yes.
It was down to dirt.
Yeah. You hear the phrase, well, we're going to take it down to the studs. Well, on this one, they blew right by the studs of the White House. You're right. They took it down to the dirt.
Yeah.
But and I think people, in fairness to President Trump, he's not the only president who has had construction work done in the White House. Sure, there were the really mundane. President Obama had a wonderful swing set, jungle gym built for his then very young daughters, no longer today. President Ford, just outside the Oval Office, just a little to the west outside the Oval Office, had a lap pool. Built.
Really?
Still there. But President Ford was a phenomenal athlete and liked to swim. Well, that's the good news. The bad news is there was a White House pool for many years.
Right.
And President Johnson filled it in. It is now called the White House Press Room. And the pool was underneath what is currently the floor.
Is that why they call it the press pool?
No.
Stop it.
Well, so the point is that presidents making changes to the White House, it's not without precedent, but one of this extraordinary magnitude,
that's a lot.
Don't spend a lot of time looking for a parallel in the history books. It's not there.
So let me ask you this. Did you ever roll any frames on Nixon's bowling alley?
Yeah.
I did not. I watched movies. I watched movies in the theater. I did not. I did not roll any frames in the bowling alley. But and you had, for example, President Eisenhower. This didn't involve building a 999 person ballroom, but he had a putting green out on the South Lawn, and you go way back, and even as late as in the early 20th century, presidents had some farm animals out there. But again, the photographs a couple days ago of the East Wing, sort of the east side of the East Wing being destroyed.
Yeah,
it hurts for those of us who worked in there. That's where the First Lady's staff is over in the East Wing. The Legislative Affairs staff for President Ford was over there, and the military aides, the black box folks, they all occupied the East Wing, and I spent a lot of time over there.
I wonder how they'll replace that office space.
I don't know, because that part of this new thing, the only renderings that we have seen have been on the inside of this ginormous ballroom. So we don't know,
right,
Bob. I assume somewhere in a little corner will be a section where those offices which were taken away will be replaced.
I assume a president doesn't have to ask anyone permission to make this kind of change to the White House?
No, that's not right. There are a whole host of steps that need to be taken with President Truman's renovation. That was done with public funds, and therefore the Congress was intimately involved. There are various boards, architectural review steps, and the like that are on the books to be taken. And I'll choose my words carefully here. Those procedures and norms apparently will not be followed in this instance. Similar to the discussion we're now hearing about this giant arch that's going to be presumably constructed between Arlington National Cemetery and the Lincoln Memorial. Some of our listeners may remember when years ago it was proposed that there be a World War II memorial in the National Mall, which is in that general vicinity. Well, it took years and years of careful review and thought as to where it should go, how high it should be, how wide it should be, taking into account the feelings of World War II veterans, et cetera, et cetera. And after all of that multi-year process, a decision was made to allow it to be placed there. And I think most people think that it is an appropriate and fitting tribute to our fellow Americans who defended us in World War II. It doesn't sound like the same process or even a similar process is about to be undertaken for this gigantic arch between Arlington National Cemetery and the Lincoln Memorial. We'll have to see.
Greg Willard, we certainly appreciate your stories, your insight, and we love when you come on and chat with us. Thank you so much.
Great to be with both of you. Stay safe.
5:31, Captain Paul, how's traffic moving along?
Well, we have one accident, Heidi. It's a crash on eastbound 44 past Allenton, Six Flags Road, blocking the right lane. Westbound 64 is crowded from Kings Highway to Hampton, also from Boone's Crossing to Long, and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the 6470 interchange. Southbound 270 congested from Olive down to Manchester. Northbound 270 is heavy from Manchester to 64. Southbound 55 running slow from Potomac to 4500 South Broadway, and eastbound 64 slows down at 170. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got another chilly night tonight. A little colder, 42 for the low. Outlying areas mid to upper 30s. You couple that with some light winds, and we could see some patchy frost, especially in valleys and outlying areas, especially areas north of St. Louis as well. And then sunny skies and a high of 65. It's another cool sunny day. Just won't be as breezy with lighter winds in the afternoon. Friday's cloudy day with a high of 61 degrees, so cool and cloudy, and a 20% chance for a light shower late day into the evening. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk about high school for just a moment, because that young man you brought home from the hospital yesterday, you're going to blink your eyes, and all of a sudden now you start talking about high schools. Well, that's where St. Mary's Southside Catholic High School comes in, because it's an all-boys, independent Catholic high school. And what St. Mary's will do is they will prepare your son to be the future. Whether it's college, trade work, or a career of their choice, St. Mary's, over the years, has produced a whole lot of millionaires and a couple of billionaires along the way. And when you graduate from St. Mary's, you have that alumni as a resource. Schedule your visit today and find out more about St. Mary's. stmaryshs.com. That's stmaryshs.com. They will teach the skills that are needed to thrive and survive in the 21st century, as well as teaching old school values. To find out more, stmaryshs.com. That's stmaryshs.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net, 636-916-1122.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben with Timberline Professional Tree Care. You've heard me for years warning of the devastating effects of emerald ash borer. Well, the time has finally come that this pest has damaged or killed almost every untreated ash tree in the region. For some trees, it might be too late. But if you only have minor damage to your tree, please call Timberline Professional Tree Care as quickly as possible and get on our treatment schedule. Further, if you've been using a box store remedy, or if another local provider has been treating your ash tree, give us a call. We bet we can save you a lot of money on your treatment program. Timberline has 7 ISA certified arborists and 5 licensed applicators to diagnose, treat, and save your trees from this and other harmful pests. To save your trees, just like we've saved thousands of other trees in the area, visit our new website at stltreecare.com or call 636-479-7475 anytime.
Whether you're on your way to see the Tigers or coming back home from the game, be sure to plan a side trip to Overstock Outlet, the best random store around where new inventory from the major big box stores arrives daily. You never know what great deals you'll find, and it's right on your way. 2 locations, in Lake St. Louis at Highway N and Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and in Warrenton at Highway 47 and Highway M. Open every day from 10 until 5. Find them on Facebook at Overstock Outlet Lake St. Louis, or check out their weekly online auctions at overstockoutletauctions.com. Let's go Tigers!
1 in 8 women will face breast cancer. But the Breast Cancer Research Foundation is changing that. With breakthroughs in prevention and treatment, we're not just saving lives, we're rewriting the future, giving those diagnosed more time to not just survive, but thrive. This is the moment. This is the mission. Support breast cancer research. Until 1 in 8 is none in 8.
The Big 550 has been live and local for 29 years, covering local news and keeping you informed with national and world news from ABC News.
Now, our local news coverage is even more extensive,
as KTRS now carries the First Alert 4 10 p.m. newscast, Monday through Friday. Join the names you know and trust.
This is First Alert 4 at 10. I'm Corey Stark.
I'm Samantha Jones.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton with a First Alert update on what's happening.
And sports from the Sports on 4 team. Just one more reason why KTRS is live, local, and your hometown locally owned station. The Big 550 and First Alert 4 depend on it. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, a couple of headlines caught my attention, so we wanted to bring KTRS Sports Director Brendan Weesey in here to talk sports. Let's start with Albert Pujols not being the manager of the Los Angeles Angels.
Not taking the Angels' job, and now we just wait to see where he might land. I mean, I think for Albert, I just personally, I hope he's able to find the right place that's set up for long-term success. I think it's a blessing in disguise that he's not taking the Angels' job. That organization's been a mess.
Back to where you played too. I think
that's part of it. They're just not very good, and they haven't been even when he was there. This is a team that had prime of his career Mike Trout and early prime of his career Shohei Ohtani and won nothing.
Yeah,
and Albert was still there too,
hitting home runs. He was still hitting homers.
Yeah, it was a complete mess. So I think it's a good call by Albert.
So do you think I'm sort of total conjecture that it probably there was some contract stuff because you could see Albert's people or even him saying, you know, I get X on my personal services, but for managing, I'm going to get this X.
Right.
And they're saying, wait a minute, we're looking for the bargain here.
Yeah.
Do you think there could be something to that?
I think so. It makes, again, for an organization that just doesn't know how to do business, I totally could see them thinking, well, we're already paying you this, so yeah. It doesn't work that way. Certainly not with a guy like Albert.
Yeah. Another headline: DeSmet Mizzou grad finalizing deal to become San Francisco Giants manager. This is a big deal.
Tony Vitello, his dad, Greg, is an all-time great coach, and I know for Mizzou fans still, it's got to hurt a little bit. Here's a guy that plays at Mizzou, is a longtime assistant coach at Mizzou, and for a program that's had some really good moments, they have been stuck in neutral since moving to the SEC and just cannot find that right fit. And Vitello becomes arguably the best coach in all of college baseball, and now he makes that very rare jump directly from the college game to the pros, where he did not play in the big league. So I believe that's where this is like the first time a coach goes from the college ranks to the big leagues.
Really?
Bobby Winkle.
Having not played.
Bobby Winkle.
Bobby Winkle did it.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
He was... he was...
1945.
He put... Well, maybe. No, he put together that great... Arizona State team with Reggie Jackson and all those guys, and then went to the Angels and had a modicum of success.
Yeah.
But that's how rare it is. I'm going back to the
interesting.
70s.
Right.
So what is the big hurdle going from college baseball to majors?
And again, I think in his case, having not played in the big leagues would maybe be the one thing. I'm not really sure. And I think now in Major League Baseball, where they treat the skipper as almost an extension of the front office, you need to find someone that has got the ability to communicate with the front office and have that relationship. I've said this here a lot recently. I wonder if someone like Tony La Russa would be able to manage in today's big league environment, because it's different.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Tony could do it. Mike Schilt, who's an old school guy, seems like he could no longer do it in San Diego. And I think when it comes to Tony Vitello, here's a guy that is connected to the old school roots, but has the ability to embrace a lot of the new school techniques.
Very fiery.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting to see and a lot of fun, I think, as a
I
fan.
think it's going to be great. It's going to be great fun. And for a Giants team that, I mean, their path of success mirrored the Cardinals a lot in the last 10 to 15 years. The Giants would alternate championships, I think, in 10, 12, and 14. And the Cardinals, of course, would win it in 11, go to the World Series in 2013. So these were two franchises that were at or near the top. The Giants clearly making a move now that says we're trying to get back close to where the Dodgers are, and we're trying to do it right now.
Did the Dodgers just buy themselves a World Series? Is that what we're about to witness here in the next couple of weeks?
I mean, maybe. I mean, if you're looking to find someone that's going to bash the Dodgers for how they do business, it's not going to be me.
Or me.
Yeah,
I'm with you, buddy.
I think any other team could find a way to be as aggressive as the Dodgers. In a way, you're like, oh, here's somebody else who's going to go to L.A. now. But this is the way that they try to. I heard the report in the last few days, like they've spent $700 million, or the contract for Shohei Ohtani was $700 million, and they've already made all of that money back. So anybody to think, well, how are we going to? They've already made that money back, and they haven't even spent that much because they've only paid him, I think, $2 million in salary the last couple of years as he's deferring a lot of it. We'll see how that works out. The back end of the contract.
Well said. And while they do have a handful of high-priced free agents, they've also developed their own players. They've and made a couple of really nice trades,
really shrewd moves,
to kind of fill in around those superstars, and it's paid off literally.
And they don't have, and their lineup isn't as superstar laden as it's been. So, I don't think they've spent as crazy as they had, partly due to a lot of the money that is tied up on just a few players, but. I wish more teams would take that approach. Too many teams take the approach of spending as little as possible to end up making money in the end. And
then complaining when they don't win.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Did you see Ohtani put a sign on his MVP trophy that says team effort?
That's cool. Well, and for a guy that performance last Friday night
oh my
is
gosh,
the single greatest individual playoff performance in sports history.
And it's not possible to match it.
It's not.
Because of the pitching element. For instance, in 2011, what game was it? It was a Saturday game in the World Series. Pujols had 3 homers, 6 RBIs. He had 5 total hits. And unbelievable, right?
Tremendous
Fantastic
performance, yes.
And Ohtani's is better. He pitched.
I guess the only difference is Albert did in the World Series. Ohtani did it in the LCS. That'd be the only difference. But just individual postseason performance,
yes.
I don't think there is anything close in any sport. He's remarkable.
Yeah.
There's no way other way to put it.
And just fun to watch.
Very fun.
Yeah. Blues, not as much fun to watch, but they did take it to overtime.
They at least got it to overtime. It was strange to see a game that was with so little offense. I feel like it almost felt like a game we'd used to watch 10 or 15 years ago. The league has gotten a lot more offensive friendly. So when you see a night you only score 1 goal, it is a bit of a head scratcher. And they've had a few of those clunkers. But, I mean, that's a hard-fought game. Like you said, Heidi, you take it to October hockey.
The Kings outplayed them. Tip your cap.
Totally.
Figure out what you're doing wrong, and you've got tons of time to fix it.
Yes,
no question about
it. Exciting basketball or not really?
I didn't watch. I mean, I know the NBA started last night. I was most interested in seeing how how NBC would intro the product. They bring the old round ball rock with John Tesh back. That was kind of fun. I know I spent some of the night watching some of the old opens. NBC did it up right back in the day. I'm interested to see how they treat. I mean, there's so many other media properties that have the NBA now. Back then, it was basically NBC and Turner Sports. That's all that had the NBA. Now it's like 5 or 6 different entities that have a piece of it.
And I don't really have a favorite team. I watched much of the 2 games last night around hockey. I was locked in on that. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll see Golden State looks like they've bounced back pretty well. They'll have Jimmy Butler now the whole season. That'll be interesting. I'm going to kind of follow Phoenix because Jordan Goodwin plays for them. I don't know that he'll ever get to play much, but other than that, I don't know who to root for.
Well, a week from Monday, I know you'll be rooting for SLU and Mizzou, and we're
it's
a
crazy.
week and a half, less than a week and a half away.
College hoops. I am fired up.
Right with you, sir.
Yep.
Right with you.
It's going to be fun. What's coming up tonight?
Thanks, Heidi. We've got at 7 o'clock our Griggs Report with Robert Griggs, our midweek Mizzou update in the 8 o'clock hour. Also visit with Lindenwood's hockey coach, Coach Fisher, after they beat Denver, nationally ranked Denver last weekend. So exciting times for LU as well.
All right, we'll be listening. Thanks
Heidi.
Brendan.
Kids don't always like to get school report cards, but they are important and helpful. They document subjects where they're strong and others where they need to show some improvement. Ever wonder why you don't get a report on how your child's school compares to others? At the Show Me Institute, we think you should, and that's why we've started the Missouri School Rankings Project. Click on the website moschoolrankings.org, and it's all there. Rankings and letter grades for all the schools in Missouri. The rankings are based on several categories, such as student performance in English, language arts, and math, ACT scores, and graduation rates. Then we take the rankings and come up with a grade point average, just like your child has. Each school and district will have a grade, and the website is easy to use. Don't you want to know how your child's school stacks up? Now you can. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day.
Want to get away in your own hometown? How about Innsbruck? Just 45 minutes from St. Louis, 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, 18-hole championship golf course, nature trails, event spaces, and so much more. Wedding venues, wedding weekends, corporate retreats. They've got A-frames and tree houses and custom homes. Find out more at Innsbruck-resort.com.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio, proud supporter of breast cancer awareness and KTRS-P. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne Marie Design Studio.
Did you know that there are little-known strategies that could increase your Social Security benefits? Many retirees miss out on these spousal benefits, survivor benefits, and earning exemptions simply because they don't know they exist. At Pioneer Wealth Management, we can help you navigate these complexities of Social Security to ensure you get every dollar you deserve. Don't settle for less. Call us today at 314-619-1283 or visit us at pioneerwealthmgmt.com and learn how to maximize your Social Security income.
Country Club Car Wash is the best car wash in town. How do I know? I have an unlimited monthly pass to Country Club Car Wash, and it's fantastic. They're touchless, and you get free vacuums at select locations. Each and every day on the morning show, we will be giving away one free Country Club Car Wash to the text of the day. And each week, we'll be giving away a grand prize, 1 month of free Country Club Car Washes to the text of the week. We'll see you on the show, and we'll see you at Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com.
Jewels on Hampton pay some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, gemstones, coins, collectibles, and sports memorabilia. JewelsOnHampton.com.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
8 minutes before 6 o'clock, we need to get one final check of traffic on this Wednesday from Captain Paul.
Okay, Heidi. Westbound 64 is heavy from Kings Highway to Hampton and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the 6470 interchange. Southbound 270 is congested around Olive. Southbound 55 running slow at 4500 South Broadway. And eastbound 64 bogs down at McKnight but opens up at Big Bend. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org, federally insured by NCUA, membership eligibility required. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, it's October 22nd. Before you know it, it's going to be 2026. If you are in need of new windows, now is the time to act because Dalco Home Remodeling, one, custom makes their windows and doors, but 2025 is the last chance to grab a $600 tax credit on new windows. So that's one reason to do it now. Dalco is offering an additional $60 per Elite Series window up to 10 windows, and then also offering 0% financing for 18 months. Now, this promotion ends November 15th. So if you're looking at the house and thinking, you know what, we're going to have to do it next year or the year after, maybe you go ahead and jump in and get those new windows now to save yourself a little money. DalcoHomeRemodeling.com is the website. You can also call Dalco, have somebody come out and give you an estimate. That phone number is 314-648-8113.
Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Alliance is rebranding to Reese Nichols, a Missouri-born real estate company established 125 years ago. The same trusted agents who've served St. Louis for 45 years now have the backing of Missouri's most trusted brokerage. With offices across the metro and in-house mortgage, title, and insurance, Reese Nichols makes your move seamless. They proudly support the Ronald McDonald House, raising over $1.5 million for Missouri families. Visit ReeseNichols.com to learn more.
If you're looking for your next home, think of First Community. Our Smart Choice Home Loan offers a 30-year fixed rate of just 6.531% APR to qualified borrowers, and you only need a down payment of 10%. Whether it's your first home, your forever home, or even a vacation home, be smart with a Smart Choice loan from First Community for all your savings and all your loans. Must qualify for membership. For terms and conditions, call toll-free 1-888-642-7969. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Tune in Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Straight Talk and Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus for an intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at Schrader.com.
A message from the Master. If you are looking for that one-of-a-kind gift this year, come on in to Newsletter's Fine Jewelers. Let Richard draw your future present for somebody you love. This special engraving lasts a lifetime. At the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap this hump day up with a couple randoms.
All right, Judas Priest first recorded the British Steel album at a home then owned by Ringo Starr. I love hearing these stories.
Mm-hmm.
For the sound of marching feet and metal gods, they used a tray of cutlery from Ringo's kitchen. And for a shattering glass sound effect in Breaking the Law, they smashed milk bottles that the milkman had brought to Ringo.
That's funny.
That's wild.
I wonder if Ringo knew.
Where's my milk?
Where's all this glass doing here? Stan Lee originally planned on the Incredible Hulk being gray, but because of issues with ink colors, he changed him to green.
Thank goodness, because green is better, stronger.
Hulk smash.
Yeah. All right, you guys, that does it for us. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Wednesday afternoon. Hopefully you'll meet us right back here starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
Country Club Car Wash is the best car wash in town. How do I know? I have an unlimited monthly pass to Country Club Car Wash, and it's fantastic. They're touchless, and you get free vacuums at select locations. Each and every day on the morning show, we will be giving away one free Country Club Car Wash to the text of the day. And each week, we'll be giving away a grand prize, 1 month of free Country Club Car Washes to the text of the week. We'll see you on the show, and we'll see you at Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com.
If you need a credit score of 750, you need Analytico750.com. Analytico750.com is the credit health partner that works for you. With Analytico750.com, you get smarter, faster credit updates. Forget waiting 45 days. At Analytico750, we provide fresh updates every 30 days. Plus, you get access to all 3 credit bureaus and unlimited reports for just $25 a month. But there's more. We also provide business credit reports, personal credit analyzation, and credit monitoring to keep tabs on your score 24/7. We even offer rapid rescore to accelerate score changes and a security freeze to lock down your credit from identity thieves. After you sign up, one of our credit experts will help you aim for a 750 credit score. Build your credit score to 750 with Analytico750.com. Call 800-850-0750. 800-850-0750. That's 800-850-0750.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica Health Plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Fraud and scams can strike anyone. My office works to ensure that Missouri is free from deception and unfair practices. Last year, we handled over 65,000 consumer complaints and returned more than $400 million to Missourians. If you've been a victim of fraud, call 800-392-8222 or visit ago.mo.gov.
Paid for by the Missouri Attorney General's
I'm Mark
office.
Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
The Big 550.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The U.S. military conducting a new airstrike on an alleged drug cartel boat, this time off Central America, the first such strike in the Pacific. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth confirming the 2 people on board were killed in the attack, adding, "These cartels are waging war on our border and our people. There will be no refuge or forgiveness." ABC News' Matt Rivers on the strategy of striking suspected drug boats.
It's not actually having a huge impact on the amount of drugs arriving to the United States. If you're trying to send a message, if you're trying to make life more difficult for drug traffickers, then of course, yes, there will be some impact to this. If you are a drug trafficker operating in the Eastern Pacific, might you think twice before getting on that boat?
The Trump administration has enacted sanctions on Russian oil. President Trump says he hopes the sanctions will hasten the Ukraine war end.
They'll certainly have an impact. They're massive sanctions, and sanctions on oil. The 2 biggest oil companies, among the biggest in the world.
The announcement today comes as the president met at the White House with the head of NATO. Vice President Vance met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel today to discuss the ceasefire deal and peace plan. ABC's Tom Sophie Burridge says the 2 sides have been returning bodies, but not all of the bodies of the hostages have been returned.
So far, Hamas has now returned 15 bodies of deceased hostages. That leaves 13 more unaccounted for, and they need to be returned as part of this deal. And also as part of the deal, in return for every single hostage, deceased hostage returned, Israel is returning 15 bodies of Palestinians.
The man charged in the fatal stabbing of a young woman on a Charlotte train indicted today on federal charges that could get him the death penalty. DeCarlos Brown Jr. charged with violence against a railroad carrier and mass transportation system resulting in death. Brown was allegedly caught on video stabbing Irina Zaruska on the light rail in August. You're listening to ABC News.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sophie Bay. A man accused of attempting to set his estranged wife's South City apartment on fire is now facing charges. 34-year-old Mumin Ahmed Mayo is charged with attempted arson, second-degree terrorist threat, and domestic assault. Police say Mayo allegedly showed up at his estranged wife's apartment along Connecticut on Monday and banged on the door, threatening to blow up the building. He then allegedly poured gasoline into her apartment as well as the stair landing of the building. Police showed up and arrested Mayo. A student is accused of bringing a gun to Fort Zumwalt East High School. School officials say a post on social media led to the discovery of the student with a gun on campus yesterday. The law license of former St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner is once again in jeopardy. This time it's over her office's use of public money to save her personal law license. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports that state disciplinary lawyers are accusing Gardner of violating 4 professional conduct rules when she directed her employees to issue over $5,000 in checks to reimburse herself for a 2022 Supreme Court reprimand. A portion of St. Louis County's RAM settlement money will go toward repaving roads in dozens of subdivisions. Last night, the County Council approved a nearly $6.2 million contract for repaving and road infrastructure improvements in 16 subdivisions throughout St. Louis County. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce is now part owner of Six Flags. Kelce joined the investment group Jana Partners to become an investor of the popular amusement park. This look at the markets is brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. Dow Jones closed down 334 points, S&P 500 down 36, and the NASDAQ down 213 points. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
Ever wonder what the KTRS Air personalities look like?
Well, now you can.
Now streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Sitting at home.